Basetradetv.
Hello and welcome to the solo cast. Damn. Thought we're gonna have zombie group here or something. No, it's just me and my Christmas tree coming at you guys with the Ting Open round of 32. Now, I before we go into this, I really got to explain what's happened because the structuring of this is very different than what it has looked like in the past. It's very different than what it will look like in the round of 32. But just to explain here very quickly and very briefly before we go live, we are not casting one full group tonight. I know there's a brackets page, but we will only be casting the preliminary matches of all four of the best of threes. So group 1 and group 2. So we're going to have Neeb, BioIce, Silky, Masa, Future, TLO, Puck, and Special. This is still going to be a WCS style group where tomorrow you're going to see the winners matches and the losers matches. But due to the fact that many players are traveling, some have gone to do other events at the same time, it's been a bit of a nightmare. So we split it up like this to hopefully accommodate all the players best we can. I will say though that if you are going to miss any of the upcoming casts over the next few days, the one to not miss would be December 15th, because December 15th, we're going to have all of the finals. So the European finals, the North American finals, all the finals are happening on December 15th at 11 a.m. Pacific, aka 2 p.m. Eastern. As far as tomorrow, Mutt, Scott, all these matches will be playing same time. So it's currently 5 o'clock Pacific. That will be 8 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, we'll get a lot of this stuff going, and we should have some really good casts over the next couple days. But the one I really want to highlight, actually, is, we have split up the North American and the European groups like this. All three of the Korean groups will still play all of their groups in one setting. And I actually have Snoot scheduled to join me. Now, God forbid something happens and it comes up. But for now, on the 11th and the 12th, we'll be casting both the Korean groups, and Team Liquid's Snoot will be joining me for that. But one last little thing, because this is so important to the tournament itself, guys. Where's my screen capture here? Have I lost it? There we go. I have finally updated the events tab. I'll do a little dance in a second. So we have all of our events laid out here from now to the 15th. So we got the Korea groups, the ones I'm referencing there, the 11th and the 12th. I'll be joined by Snoot for these casts. I think Wardy's joining me for some of the other ones. Like today, tomorrow, solo casting. The reason I bring this up is because there's a really handy remind me feature. And if you set this remind me button, it will tell you when we're live on the off chance you've forgotten about the event that you wanted to see. So you really want to see when Masa plays, like tomorrow, well, hit remind me so you don't fucking forget. I know we haven't used the calendar in a while. That's totally on me. But now that I've got things set up, we should have a much easier time getting you guys through the games. But anyways, let's not dilly-dally too much. We have Future versus TLO coming up first. Now, I have to take away some of the hype for a moment, guys. This one is going to be from replays. It's unfortunate because Future was going to another tournament, traveling, and so we just couldn't have this happen live today. So I figured, fuck it. These guys played yesterday. To be clear, I don't even know the results of this. I had dares systematically grab these and label them individually so that I wouldn't spoil it for myself. So nobody knows the results of this, not even me. And that's a good thing because I fucking hate when I see like just 2 replays and I'm like, oh, it's a 2-0. It's going to be stupid. No, I have been completely spoiler-freed with this because all the games are labeled even if matches didn't actually play. So that being said, quick shout-outs and thank you to Ricky D172. You really live again? I miss you. I miss you too, man. Black Spade Camry as well. Thank you guys for giving me that music to dance to, for coming back for subs. Lock175, Zappa43. Thank you guys all so much. But I have not 1, not 2, but 3 of the new maps done for introductions. The downside is I don't have it for this first fucking game we're casting. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just hop in the game for Future versus TLO. Oh, come on, StarCraft. Why? There we go. All right. First game of the day, spawning here at the top left side of the map. He is, of course, representing Team Liquid. It's none other than Team Liquid's TLO. And Hellshock with that timing. What's up, dude? Thank you for the resub. 13 months. In the bottom right, we have the Blue Tear and his opponent. He's one of the badasses in North America. We've got Future. Now, I don't know how to call this one because Future versus generically most Zergs, I would say Future wins. But this is TLO, who I've not seen a lot of. He's moved from Europe to Canada. He's kind of missed out on some tournaments online, but he still attends offline events. I don't know where he's at right now, and I'm actually really excited because I think that this, I don't know, this will be a good look into TLO and how he does for this tournament. I love that he's playing, and I love that he's playing in North America too, because we just don't have that many great players. There's a lot of good players in North America, but TLO to me is a great player, and I'm excited to see how this goes. Not to mention the fact that Future has been absolutely bullshitting around with several things, such as battle cruisers. If you guys saw those show matches versus Cham, that was a lot of fun, and frankly, very ridiculous. So we'll see how this plays out. I got my fingers crossed for ridiculous, though. But yeah, this is, I should probably mention the sponsors. Wow, it's been a while since we've done like real sponsored content, but we're going back to it. Ting and Hover coming at you here for Ting Open Season 5. Now, I'm not going to do a big sell. We'll talk more about the details of the sponsors later, but I would like to just remind everybody that this is a sponsored tournament. This is a sponsored event. There's $4,000 already placed in Matcherino. That's the bare minimum people can get from this tournament. But over the next month, we should have several cool incentives to unlock more. There's a Neeb show match that's on deck. We're going to have Ting Jesse actually cast it, which sounds a little silly, but if you guys know Jesse, I think it'll be a lot of fun. There's also the classic Jesse versus Rifkin rematch of a rematch. Look, guys, I'm basically undefeated, and it feels great. So, not too worried about it, but yeah, there's some cool incentive stuff. If you want to check any of that out, there's really, honestly, at this moment in time, not a lot to check out, but the Matcherino page has been updated. There's no codes, there's no real cool rewards, but there will be. So if you're curious about that, you can just type !Matcherino in the chat. But yo, Hellscream SC2, thank you for the 9-month resub, dude. All right, Future, by the way, I should highlight, did go for Reactor in this case. One of the big tweaks we saw was Cyclones had a bit of burst. Like, for the first week after the patch, people were making them, people were kind of abusing them. Magfield Accelerator looked really broken against all races, but then people figured them out, and now Cyclones are not scary at all. Nobody makes them. Well, actually, I think that Euthermal had a really unique Cyclone-styled home story cup. I really enjoyed it, but generally speaking, I think most people have agreed Cyclones are not very good, but they are good in some select scenarios. So, opening with Hellions, this looks like a little bit more old school out of Future. Mont Scott says, if I don't know Jesse, will it still be fun? Well, here's the thing you need to understand. I guess you could call it a team owner, but more like sponsor. Like, what Ting is it's a solo sponsor for Neeb. It's less of a team, but the team owner in that case would be Jesse. Oh, it is going to be Battle Cruisers, by the way, guys. Yeah! And Jesse is a huge StarCraft fan, so it'll be fun, I think, listening to him go on with the cast. But all right, Battle Cruisers, boys, let's talk about why this is so ridiculous right now. If you have not been paying attention to the patch, and I mean, let's be honest, guys, it's been like 3 weeks now. You should have an idea of what's going on, but for those of you who don't, maybe you're watching on YouTube kind of casually. Quick shout out to those on YouTube. The Battlecruiser can move and shoot now. They also normalize the attack delay between the attacks, so it's no longer random, giving them a net gain of about 20% of a damage increase from what they had before. I think that I really, really love the opener of a Battlecruiser. If you guys got to catch any of Home Story Cup, I got to cast some of the games with Marine Lord where he would open a Battlecruiser and follow up with like normal macros. Still go Marine Tank and all that behind it. I personally feel that's the way to go. I think it's such a strong, terrifying opener that does force the Zerg to play a certain way, but at the same time, there's two ways you handle this Battlecruiser. Future, in everything we've cast him in, likes to just teleport it immediately across the map instead of like a hatchery. I don't really like that option because it means you don't have an escape route out, and if you lose this Battlecruiser, that's 400 minerals and 300 gas. That is an expansion and a half right there. It's an expensive unit to lose for light harass. So how he uses the Battlecruiser here will be critical. However, what I do believe will work out well is if the Battlecruiser teleports directly to the main, and just plays it kind of casual and leaves TLO to be distracted by it in the main base. Then all the Hellions run into the third, the Hellions run into the natural. I think there's a lot of really great damage opportunities for a two-pronged attack. Future, after all, has about 10 Hellions to pair up with this. Hey, T Campbell, thank you very much. Okay, he teleports to the front line. Oh, he's gonna Hellbat with this too. Oh, this is so sick. This is like a big gross all in. I thought this was gonna be harassment, but TLO was ready for something. He thought Bantlings would be coming. He makes the, or Hellbats would be coming. He makes the Bantlings. The Hellbats, by the way, take care of the Spore Crawler battle for the Battle Cruiser, so now he doesn't have to worry about that too much. Only Queens for the anti-air. Those can't really chase down a moving target. However, that Battle Cruiser's got to get out of dodge or it's gonna die. TLO has deflected this attack almost perfectly, I'd say. It did cost him a couple of Spore Crawlers, and oh, Future's getting really greedy going for that Overlord. What health? Oh, praise be the Zerg regen. Okay, he should be able to walk away from this. But goddamn, if he was not prepared for that precisely, TLO would have so easily died. The Bantlings were critical. The Spore Crawlers on the front lines, crucial. Great defense out of TLO. The double hatchery at the bottom is a little bit curious to me. It's definitely not a misclick. It's just putting a macro hatchery down there instead of up here. But what I fear is the follow-up to this, right? TLO's going for Hydralisks. We watched Future laugh his way to victory going battle cruisers against Hydralisks. And by the way, guys, he's still investing in more battle cruisers. Yamato Cannon's coming up too. That'll be a nice amount of damage. It was nerfed, by the way, down to 240 damage from 300. So it hits for a little bit less. Can still one-shot Queens. Can still one-shot a Corruptor. I think the difference is it can no longer one-shot a Void Ray, if I'm not mistaken. I think is the tweak. But at any rate, the Yamato Cannon is a nice nuke on most Zerg units, so just remove a Queen from play right away. The counterplay to this is really interesting from TLO, though, right? So he's going for a lot of Hydralisks, which may or may not fare well against the battlecruisers. I don't know. But what's really important is he did produce Bantlings. He was expecting more Hellions and Hellbats, and that is something that Future's definitely investing in with this. But it is, to be clear, Bio following this up. This is not him going into mech. This is not Future going into the most risky strategy of all time. As I had kind of highlighted earlier with the way Marine Lord plays, he went for like one battlecruiser, quickly transitioned out. In this case, Future went for two battlecruisers, transitioned out. Oh, that Yamato was aimed at a Queen. I thought he was going to go for the Spore. Sorry, I missed the tracking on that one, guys. TLO's also up to some shenanigans here. He's making some drop overlords. I'm going to imagine for some Bantlings or some Lings to go into the main base. Lucky for Future, he does have teleport available on both of his battlecruisers to get out of this in a pinch, and more importantly, get back home in time to defend if he really needs to. How many battlecruisers did Future have in the game I was referencing? Oh, a lot. He was like on 12 or 13, and he had only lost like one, maybe two by the time he won the game. It was pretty ridiculous. But a quick show of his hand here. This is a good scout for TLO, actually. Seeing this many Marines in a tank, he's a smart guy. He's got to know that it's going to be Bio following this up. Of course, with the amount of Hellbats and battlecruisers that have been shown so far, it would definitely not be crazy to assume that this was going to be mech. But this is that 20% damage increase, more than the move and shoot. Oh, God, he barely gets out of there. Oh, no. How did that lag? Okay, well, he gets out of there with the battlecruisers alive. They pick off quite a few Hydras, actually. 8 in total died. And now he's got to follow up a Marine tank, which conventionally is not bad against this composition. There's not a lot of Bantlings out. It's mostly Hydras, so the tanks can certainly help with that. Of course, the battlecruisers are getting repaired up right now, and these Spore Crawlers die for nothing. I think he was anticipating the battlecruisers to support this, but that's not how this played out. The tanks in an okay spot, but they're shooting Hydras instead of shooting the Lings. If they cleared out the Lings, the Marines could have covered those tanks, but either way, TLO pushes it off, and a great defense once again. Future, though, has got his production. More importantly, his research starting to follow this up. You know, it's really late to get in stim and combat shields as the costs of making battlecruisers, right? They're expensive. Again, highlighting 400 minerals, 300 gas. There's your 1-1 weapon upgrades in one battlecruiser. Now he's been able to play a little bit of catch-up. He's moving towards his 2-2, so he's actually, funny enough, ahead of TLO in weapon upgrades, despite his tech having been delayed. TLO, God, the guy can spike 1300 APM like it's nothing. I love it. Drilling Claw starts up. Oh, Future's going to follow up with more Widow Mines. Okay, so I want to highlight Widow Mines for a moment, because there's been a lot of discussion about whether they're OP or not right now. And for those, again, quickly catching everybody up on this, who don't know the big changes on them, Drilling Claws, of course, still allows them to burrow instantaneously, but it now allows them to remain cloaked after they fire their payload. More notably, though, Widow Mines, I think it was a 20% build time reduction. I could be wrong on that number. I'm speaking from memory here. But they do build faster now, so you can produce more Widow Mines in a game than you could before in the past. More Widow Mines means better trading for the Terran, even if you get terrible shots. Also, he takes care of the Banelings really well there. The Battlecruiser gets some good shots, too. So he covers the Marines. We got double drops heading to the main base here. And TLO's army is, of course, out of position. He's got a couple of Hydras and Banes at home, but they're not in position. And if Future can pick off this +2, that'd be huge. Unfortunately, he's just kind of on A move, so it doesn't look like he's paying too much attention to this drop. Loses the medevac. Ooh, that stings. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, TLO, of course, has flushed the map with creep. It is all over the place, cleaning up a lot of this as he pushes forward. It's something Future has to take a moment to do. Still stuttering away from the Lings. It's not that scary. As long as there's no Banelings here, his bio is fine to jump around. I don't know when this guy got in, but he teleported across the map. He's going to die. Get a Yamato before he goes down. No, Tilo picks up, but it still targets the Overlord? Wait a minute. I don't even understand how that interaction just now went down, how that transaction happened, but okay. I think what ended up happening, and I could be wrong, it looked like he either targeted the Overlord without me realizing, but I thought he had targeted the Hydra, and he continued to shoot the Hydra after winning the Overlord. I see with a question mark? I don't actually know. That might have just been a sick read out of Future, but the problem is he really needed that Battlecruiser back at home. These Hydras are pushing in. The Planetary can hold, but there's still Banelings, and as long as there's Banelings, these Marines cannot fight the way they want to. However, having not been forcibly decloaked, these Widow Mines are coming off a cooldown, and like I said, guys, no bamboozle. This is a replay. The Widow Mine's going to get a second shot off, and that's huge. Even if it's just hitting the Overseer, that's still pretty big. I love this position TLO has found, though. Oh, that's a nice spot to put the Overlord, the Overseer rather. The surveillance mode or whatever it's called for the Overseers 2 is really nice. Extra vision it provides. Oversight, excuse me. I think surveillance mode is the Observer. Oh, that Widow Mine to the south gets a good shot. TLO's coming in from multiple angles. He's got detection, but these Widow Mines are soaking up a lot of the Banelings for Future. And again, as long as there's not really Banelings, those Hydras aren't so scary. But this production and this fight, this trait that's been going on has forced Future to really stall out his 3-3, as that's not even started up yet. The Hydras start pushing in. There's a couple more Widow Mine shots left, but they're hitting the Lings, not the Hydras. A small drop to the bottom left looks to kill a hatchery, but if Future's not careful, he might lose the game here. I mean, all hands on deck in this sort of situation. Every unit matters, and so much of this bio is really low. The Banelings roll in. They don't connect to much, but they connect at all, and that's what really matters here. A couple Widow Mines trying to get the front line. They can't quite burrow in time. It's only Marauders left. So many of the Marines have been picked off. If this was a fight around the Planetary, this would be a very different story, but production is scattered. Future really just can't have his units streamline in like this. However, with some good focus fire and a rally from the main base, he starts cleaning up the Hydras. If he can clean up this group here, he can certainly save this base. SCVs are pulled away from the action, though. These medevacs are low. By low, I mean on energy. So many of these are dry. A couple SCVs pulled back into the fight. He really wants to defend this base location, and I think it's most notably because there's a tech lab factory here. This thing means tanks if he wants to get that ball rolling. Still, though, reluctant to give in to the pressure. Future actually goes for a drop to the top side of the map. It's 4 Marauders. I like this a lot, actually. This would be great for sniping buildings. For example, those Evo chambers to shut down a 3-3 that is on the way. Always gotta be careful, though. There's still 2 spoiler crawlers from earlier. Of course, these were put up for deterring the battle cruisers. No! Oh, Future loses all 4 of those Marauders. That was a much more expensive drop than normal. Feels bad, man. TLO... APM hits almost 2,000 sometimes. How? If you guys, I'll explain after this game. It's not him playing like a madman though. It's a really great Baneling hit there for TLO. Kills about 6 of the SCVs. Ling's running to the top side. Oh, there's no wall anymore. Of course, he cleared out the supply depots that were blocking. Those reinforcements will have to defend what few SCVs Future has. And by the way, Future does not have a lot of SCVs to lose right now. So pulling back, Widow Mine helps a bunch. There we go. That helps clean that up. Storming through the middle of the map. I didn't even realize TLO was still spreading creep. So many of his queens died in the frontline fights earlier. Lumberjack, what's up, man? Thank you very much for the 23-month resub. But persistence is key, and these creep tumors continue to push on the map. And every time Future comes in to clear them up, the queens are right back there to plant them back down. Gotta be infuriating for our Terran. But both players are coming up on their 3-3, about 50% done for each. So we will see maximum upgrades, I guess, going soon. I just realized, why is the event tab in the middle of nowhere? I'd rather have this not at all than up here. Let's just hide that for now. Sorry guys, I didn't realize it got moved somehow. Plenty of Widow Mines. Oh, but that also means a lot of them to die if the Baneling splash into it. I like the transition to Liberators, but the problem here kind of is the timing, right? This sort of timing is when you predict things like Ultralisks or you want them to help deal with the Hydras. Liberators are great in those situations. But TLO's actually not moving in that direction. Despite his upgrades, he's actually going towards a Greater Spire. And Liberators, in most situations, don't do too well. However, if you saw Tasia versus Cyril at Home Story Cup, which, by the way, is on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Basetradetv, you know Liberators can kill Bird Lords in some very specific scenarios. Anyways, regarding TLO's APM for a moment here, just because we have some breathing room, Zerg already have a weird way to measure APM, and a lot of this has to do with the way they select their larva, and of course the way you make units out of the larva kind of artificially inflates APM. Combine that with the fact that TLO uses different hotkeys than your average player, and it just seems to really confuse the Blizzard tracking system. So you're seeing him right now speak 2,500 APM, I think I saw there for a second. And it's not because he's clicking so fast that his keyboard's on fire, it's just his hotkeys combined with the mechanics of Zerg. It just gets measured weird because of the crossover. So it's hilarious to watch. Look at that. It's so insane. But as much as I would love to pretend TLO is moving so fast that the friction from his fingers is causing literal fire, that is not the case. Corin Porter says, is Tasia coming back to the competitive scene? I would argue Tasia's already back to the competitive scene. The question is, when is he going to be back to his full strength? If you guys didn't see Home Story Cup, Tasia played some amazing games. And of course, he's been competing online in things like the Alima League and other, I'm sure, available Korean Cups. Tasia is back, but still kind of getting he's relearning to ride that bicycle, so to speak. I think I said it at Home Story Cup, 2 months from now, Tasia is going to be so sick to watch. Oh, I just realized this problem in Future S2. He spent so much time losing medevacs and building Liberators, he didn't build enough medevacs to replace his missing count, so he actually cannot even heal up his broken bio right now. Oh, this planetary is not done. That's really unfortunate for timing. If this was done, this is an easy hold. This draws him out of position. A couple Liberators come in here as well just to secure it. It's a great choke to actually fight in. And I believe he does not have Liberator range yet, which is unfortunate. Let's see if he harkens back to it. There we go. Advanced Ballistics now on the way. Broodlord's out too. This is a problem. This is a very big problem for Future. I don't know if he can really deal with this at all. This is going to take like a one big punch, all might style army if he really wants to get in here. Because the anti-air is supplied by the Hydras. No Corruptors needed. So he can't set these Liberators up to shoot the Broodlords as long as those Hydras are out. And he knows that, I know that, you know that, we all know that. So the problem is just Future trying to find a fight. He can't find this fight. He's already too far behind by the time it starts. TLO just backs away from the Liberators because that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Don't take a fight you don't need to take. He kills the base, he walks away. That's exactly what he should have done. 10 SCVs down and some casual banelings. Oh, okay. Not great baneling use, to be honest. Oh my, no way! That one baneling, how? Well, that Widow Mine too, Jesus. That was, you know what, guys? That was a clusterfuck. We can, hang on. Let's go back and watch that in slow-mo. That was sick. That was disgusting. All right, slow it down. Here we go. Keymag, thank you for the resub. All right, one baneling. Oh, he overstimmed. That's how he hit it. Oh my god. And then the Widow Mine crushes everything there too. So this was just like a massive splash fest of death. But ultimately, TLO will take the game. Map number 1 goes to our Team Liquid Zerg. Oh, it was so gross and so good. I loved it. Anyways, the next map is going to be Automaton. I don't have to dilly-dally too much, but I do want to take a moment here before we hop into game to, again, now that we have more people here, I would just like to explain what we're doing really quick before we hop into game 2. So some of the games today are replays. This is because it's unfortunately just impossible to get everybody with their schedules at the moment, but we needed to get all this stuff done at a time because people are leaving for Cheesadelphia this weekend and aren't able to play and blah, 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 blah. So as we go to the bracket screen really quick, we are right now casting Group 1. And again, I'm being very transparent about this. Future and TLO has been done through replays, but we have 2 groups in total we're casting. So Future TLO, Puck and Special, Neeb BioIce, and Silky versus Masa. So we got a lot of games for today. Of course, tomorrow will be the winners and the losers matches as well. But that being said, let's just load up this second game and hop into it, because TLO versus Future is going down on Automaton. Enjoy this brand new map intro. All right, game number 2 kicks off, and Spawny here in the bottom left side of the map. He's up. Oops, I've got the scores wrong. Excuse me. He's up 1-0. We have Team Liquid's TLO. An absolutely great map 1. To the upper right, it's going to be his blue Terran opponent. It's Future, who is staying at home and not doing a proxy, which is funny enough, noteworthy. Anyways, there's a lot to be said about this, but the one thing I want to highlight back in game 1 was TLO's defense was just absolutely what it needed to be. He fended off a battlecruiser attack. It was made more volatile by followed up with like 10 Hellbats or something. It was so well handled, and it was so difficult for Future to take that loss, because that is a strategy that's probably won him like 90% of his games. So he'll have to rethink how he handles TLO now in game 2. Ideally, a battlecruiser rush is still not a bad idea, but after witnessing how well TLO deflected it, I don't know that that's going to be on Future's mind as a go-to move. At the same time, too, there's always the threat that TLO might get a little cheesy, but I think, while maybe it's a bit of a character flaw because it makes him slightly more predictable, you can usually count on TLO not to be the cheesy player, although he is totally capable of it. However, as we are hopping into game 2, I would like to talk a little bit about the sponsors, guys. Most of you should be familiar with Ting. It's a US mobile phone service. You know, they can help you get cheap deals in the United States if you don't use a lot of data. Especially, they're perfect for you. So if you're like me, you hang around the computer all the time, you got access to Wi-Fi, Ting might just help you, because you can spend like less than $25 a month with them. The average phone bill is like about $25 on Ting. And if you guys want to try it for free, essentially, you can get $25 in credit by going to bttv.ting.com. However, there's a second sponsor for this season, Hover. And Hover's a bit more global, which is great. If you want to do websites and cool things like that, make sure to go to hover.com. Actually, it'll come up here in a second. I think it's hover.com/bttv. Yeah, hover.com/bttv. 10% off on purchases made through Hover. We'll go more into them as the season deepens, but I'm just trying to really set in tone that this is duo sponsored by both Ting and Hover, whereas Ting has primarily been the only sponsor for past events. And if you guys are wondering why Hover's on board, it's not because Ting was desperate and couldn't afford the season. Hover's actually a sister company to Ting. They both have the same parent company, 2 Cows. So it just worked really well to bring on another section of the company, I guess, for advertising. I don't really know. But I do know that I hear about Hover all the time on a lot of my favorite podcasts, so I gotta believe that they're pretty legit. At any rate, the Reaper hops up to the main base, and he's going to be looking for a couple of kills. I don't know what he can really accomplish on this one, though, and stutter stepping like this just unfortunately puts him in range of the Queen. I love what TLO just tried to do. I don't know if you guys quite caught that. He tried to build an Evo chamber to block the Reaper in, and that probably would have netted a kill. Quick cancel on the Tumor 2 to make sure the Reaper doesn't pick it off. Oh, small moves, but very significantly great ones coming out of TLO. Well, the Reaper hopping around looking for some safety. There's unfortunately, not much space to work with on Automaton, as you can only hop out over here, and I think, well, that's pretty much it. This and the ramp, I guess. There's a lot of boxes that block out your pathways up. There's no like little ledge on the other side, so TLO with the frontal defense knows that he should be able to hold this off. Huh? Finally start roasting up a Queen. A lot of Lings out, and more notably with speed, which is kind of scary. A Raven follows this up, which is really interesting. For a couple of different reasons. The Raven's had some changes too. And I promise, guys, next week I won't be going over these changes every time we see them, but I do think it's very interesting. Oh, shit. That the Lings left the base, the Queens were out of position, so there was nothing to stop these Hellions from walking into the main base. Oh my goodness, TLO, what a blunder. He goes from having like a perfect early game defense to losing 15 drones, 16 drones. It's not all peace on the other side of the map, though. Future takes some SCV losses too. I don't know why that depot is down, but it's an ay caramba on both sides of this. TLO, of course, comes out with a few less workers, so it really hurts him more than Future. But an auto turret to try and deal with the Overlord? Okay. I was going to start questioning what was up with the use of the Raven, anti-armor and detection, but yo, we got Maito Manon coming in for 43 months. He says, hey, Rip, and Wardy comes in with 35 to 2. He says, sorry I missed this XOXO. It's all good, dude. I look forward to seeing you on the European cast because, man, the games here are going to be good today. I think the European games are going to be even better, although that's just a little bit of bias. Shout out to the North American people tuning in. But TLO ducks into dives even into the natural. I thought he was just going to peek in and peek out. You notice the Hellions are here, but he goes for a couple kills on the SCVs. Roasty toasty, though. Loses the Lings. This ends up being a pretty good start. Wait, where did this one come from? Hello? It's one little guy. This ends up being a pretty good opening for Future, all things considered. Yes, he did lose about 8 SCVs, and that totally sucks butts. But he gets to start a third CC, which I think TLO saw. No, he didn't. The Ling didn't see it on his way out. So Future gets away with an unseen third CC. This is kind of a big deal because a lot of Terran players, if they're scouted, they're treated to a very nasty all-in. TLO, however, won't scout this, and he's so busy defending against these Hellions. The Raven hits the main base with an auto turret, by the way, grabs 2 drone kills, but denied significant mining. Look at that income spike. That's not Future started mining more. That's TLO started mining a lot less. That hurts. Also, I guess scanning just confirmed what he hasn't seen. That Raven's going to be really useful for a majority of this game. I mean, auto turrets are a little bit of damage. We all know this, of course, but anti-armor makes these fights in the late game a little bit better to take. Suddenly, Lings are 2-shot by a lot of these units because they're missing 3 armor. Plus the detection. Just not having to scan for creep, man. You guys got to consider each scan is what you use instead of a mule. That's basically 200 to 50, 270 minerals, somewhere in that ballpark that you're not mining with because you chose to scan. That Raven pays for itself, just like in 2 creep tumors. Another auto turret in the main. A little bit risky to do here. Kills a drone. Second Raven, I didn't see him squeeze that bad boy out, but he's got 2 auto turrets in him. However, on the other side of the field, with a wall up, there's no real fear from these Lings. Even with the Banelings coming in to bust this, the Hellions are more than enough to hold. I feel like TLO, I mean, he was forced into this all in with the damage that came earlier, but Future really doesn't have anything to fear here. As long as he doesn't eat those Banelings with his Hellions or the SCVs. Oh, I just had a heart attack. Did anyone else? TLO is going to fail this attack, and when he does, I mean, it might even, just be GG. Future ties up the series 1-1. Well done and well played. However, it would appear that we have somebody who created an account 19 minutes ago trying to get under my skin. However, unfortunately for you, I'm too smart to fall for it, I guess. So see you later. Goodbye. Thanks for stopping by and all that good stuff. Map number 3 is going to be going down on Port Alexander. This is another one of those new maps I made an intro for. I personally really like the way this one looks, but guys, I'm going to hit up a small commercial break really quick, just 2 minutes. When we get back, Game 3, the deciding match of Future versus TLO. Also, I fucking broke the ad screen when I was setting this up today, so I just went like full meme lord replacing it. Look, I'm not going to tell you this is great, but enjoy it. I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Shelve it up in the closet. We say we're both better without it. So cut our love off, hide it in a pretty box. My heart that bleeds for you has gotta stop.
right, look, we're back, and I want to jump right into the game right away, but I gotta take a second here to shout out my boy Namshar, because Namshar cast with me at Home Story Cup a lot more than anybody else and saved my ass. So he's a garbage Zerg player. Don't watch his stream and don't fucking click his name. Don't you dare go to his Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Namshar. But as a co-caster, he saved my life. So thanks for that, man. Let's get into Port Alexander. I hope you guys like the intro. It's game number 3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, you're watching the Ting Open Season 5, round of 32, and this first match has already gotten heated. It's a best of 3, and we're tied up 1-1. And spawning here in the top left side of the map, we got, of course, once more, Team Liquid's Red Zerg TLO. And his opponent at the bottom right just tied things up. Looking pretty good, I gotta say. It's Future. I'm not sure what Yak is. But anyways, Future and a couple of the other North American players like Neeb and Moss, I believe, they're all heading out to like Cheesedelphia for this weekend's play. So that's why we had to kind of split up these matches and do some from replays. So really quick, again, if you guys want to see more of these players, they're actually playing in a lot of stuff, whether it's the replays here today on the Ting Open cast or whether it's the live matches you'll see on this weekend. There's a lot of really great North American talent, and unfortunately, we don't get to see a lot of it. A lot of them just don't show up to play. So when people like Future are on a rampage, or hell, TLO is being active in North America, I'm all for it, man. AKA Dan Paul, thank you for the Prime sub. Basetradetv, I really like that you added battles to the intro. Yeah, so I was thinking on this, right? Like every other season, I've always tried to do the intros before we play any games on the maps. But with this season, we had played a bunch of games on the map. So those are real battles, by the way. Those aren't like cooked up battles where I set scripts for the AI. Like, that's Future versus Puck. That's Cham versus Future. One of them was Nurchio versus Bly. I think it was the ZVZ one you guys saw for the previous intro. Like, those are real battles from the real cast that we did. And I thought it was a cool way to add them in. So I'm really glad you guys are liking them, by the way. So thank you for that comment. I appreciate it. Luzestio wants to know when they actually played. So yesterday. We tried to arrange it so that these replays would be super fresh, hot off the presses type thing. And part of it, too, was like if there was going to be a mini patch, it screws up the way replays work. So we want to make sure that didn't happen either. So a majority of games that were played out previous were either yesterday or the day before. This was, again, not ideal. I don't love replays. However, with our admin having helped keep them spoiler-free, I'm actually finding myself enjoying this a lot more already. I think part of it is TLO and Future are just fantastic and fun players to watch, too. But, I don't know. Sometimes, like, if I know it's going to be like a 2-0 or something, I lose interest before we get started, and then I've got to, like, fake my way through the cast. But, again, Dares, shout out to Dares. He did this in a very good, very spoiler-free format for me, so it's not evident who wins and who loses. At least until we get into casting the games. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I'll have a bad time casting a replay, guys. I'm not so high and mighty. I must cast only live content. But it does affect, I think, my mood when I'm in the cast a little bit. So it's been really nice. I've enjoyed this so far. Reaper hops up over here, grabbing a couple of ling shots. I mean, they don't have speed, so this should be an easy cleanup. The key thing here for Future was he did finish his command center before the lings got over here. TLO's hope was, of course, to pick off that SCV and force this to take a lot longer to finish. Because stalling out the CC, I think a lot of people misunderstand as being a problem because of the later orbital, but it's a bigger problem because it stalls out your supply. And you get supply blocked real bad! And it's no good for anybody in that situation. So Future gets to finish this up. He doesn't worry about a supply block. He gets, of course, that mule down, which is just icing on the cake. Mwah. We got Ting Jeff in the chat. This is a new face. Hello, Ting Jeff. I see that you're not currently subscribed, so how on earth would you use this really sweet Ting emote that we have? Guys, can we get some ace Tings in the chat to shame Jeff? Thank you. If this gets me a sub, it's the guiltiest freaking sub I've had to date. I'll tell you that. At any rate, yeah, what's great is, hey, there's a sub, but it's a gift, so I don't feel so guilty. Thank you very much, Miracles, for gifting the sub to Ting Jeff. I was actually going to mention, what's great is there's more people working for Ting now, especially when it comes to the StarCraft 2 side of things. Before, it was only Jesse, and because it was only Jesse, he didn't have time to participate in a lot of stuff. Now there's more people working on it, so we get more Ting involvement, which is always cool in my books. But again, guys, real quick, bttv.ting.com, you know the drill. Gifted sub to Fractal Cactal. Thank you, Diet Soda. We got the attack commencing, though, so that music's a nice kind of, like, battle horn in this case. There's a Banshee follow-up. Nothing weird, no battle cruisers, but this hits at the timing where TLO does not have banelings. He is not ready for this attack in the most perfect of ways. However, if the Hellbats are not protecting the Marines are kind of fragile, and realistically, oh, the medevac goes down. That's how you stop most of these attacks. But you know what? Transfuse isn't as good as it used to be. The Queens aren't that numerous. Yeah, he's taking a long time to clean this up. I gotta say, this doesn't look good for TLO. 3 drones dead's not that bad. Most of the Queens are still holding on. There's that Transfuse. I really just wish he'd throw one auto attack at that Marine. It's tilting me so bad. But it looks like Future will not be sticking around, so TLO will hold this. He'll be up about 6 or 7 workers for it, which really is pretty good. Oh, he gets us around with the Lings! Okay, I did not expect that to happen. That should have been Future getting home somewhat relatively safe with the Hellbats. Oh, that was really well done by TLO. Like, bravo. Bravo, Dario. Bravo! He goes for the immediate counter with the Lings, but there's a wall, and there's going to be more Hellions, so I don't think this will be that much of a problem. But man, the Hellions in this case, they really needed, well, the Hellbats more importantly, to kill the Queens so that there's more wiggle room for the Banshee to stick around. The fact that 3 of the Queens lived combined with more production, the odd Spore Crawler, there's not going to be a lot of opportunity for this Banshee or her sister follow-up. However, Cloak is done, so at least outside the range of the Spore Crawler, they'll be very deadly. Hard Revenge, looking at clip of Jesse doing the backflip. That was one of the Season 3 rewards, I think it was? Maybe it was Season 4, I don't recall. That was pretty funny. Good positioning from TLO. Spore Crawler on the front line is always a good thing to see. It covers both bases, actually, so you can cover the transition between. He's running around this army with the Lings. I'm not sure if he'll try and surround the Hellbats or if he just wants to get an actual counterattack. You're cruel, Rifkin, but he did it. Well, I was only cruel when he did it the second time, okay? But I saw how perfectly he executed it the first time, so naturally I figured it's no problem for a seasoned veteran to go for number 2. Oh, Ting Jeff, don't let me know that, dude. That's just giving me fuel to add on the fire for when we do our show match. Like, he loses game 1, I'm gonna be like, so how's Overwatch been? Better than StarCraft, I hope. I'm the master of BM. These Lings have been dealt with pretty well. I gotta say, Future's got some really good trades out of this. I thought this would be a lot less effective. He's playing Mech as the follow-up too, which is, I'm not so convinced by right now, but the fact that TLO's not going for Roaches means that there should be some viability. Blue Flame Hellions will just take on any amount of Hydras and Lings with relative ease. The Magfield Accelerator upgrade might not see a lot of love this game, but just for those who don't know what this does, it increases the damage the Cyclones deal to armor units by double. An extra, believe it, I can't believe I'm saying this, an extra 400 damage. Nothing does 400 damage in this game, but Cyclones do over 14 seconds, but still, Cyclones do. Their actual auto attack is pretty weak, but the ability to kite and run away with that very powerful hitting attack is nice. That's a lot of damage. This ain't it, kid. Yeah, it's 800 versus armored over like 14 seconds. I didn't realize he had continued Banshee production too, by the way. He's coming up on a 5th one, but no Hyperflight rotors, which in the patch was made to be a lot cheaper and faster, so it's a lot easier to justify getting, but instead, opting for these other upgrades, I kind of feel like with the money Future's floating, I'm a little, like, I'm wagging my finger like, tisk tisk, you're supposed to be the better player. Why you know Hyperflight rotors? More factories coming down too. Production shouldn't be a problem here for Future. A lot of Banlings are scary though. The beauty is though, because he's in Hellion form and not Hellbat form, he can run away from this off creep. It's a little difficult on creep, of course. Spam this Future man to help my Future man. Man, do you guys, anyone watch that So Future Man's a streamer, has been on Twitch for a while, and like Seth Rogen made a show called Future Man. It was like a hot thing for a while. I don't know. I watched the show recently. I thought it was pretty bad, to be honest. I don't know if anyone else had a chance to see it or not, but all right, Banshee's still kind of controlling the skies here. That's a dead hatchery. If I think if you want to focus on it, get some drone kills instead. Oh god, the Bailey's rolling in. These are some dead SCVs. They're not going home for Christmas. Oh, I'm sorry, boys. 23 SCVs for 5 drones. I'm not an expert at StarCraft 2, but I think that went better for TLO. However, Future's coming in with such a kick-ass army. This is like an end-your-game kind of army. Like, the amount of Banshees in this are just terrifying. The Cyclones soak the Bailey shots, but they only have 120 health now. This is a big highlight. They lost like 60 health from what they used to have prior to the patch. So, while they do a lot of damage, they're also pretty weak, and that glass cannon state costs a lot of them here. As you guys just saw, most of Future's army fell apart. It was the SCV's last day before retirement. Oh god. I don't think Future can take this fight. Really hate to say it, but I think, like, I'm just gonna say it, I think TLO is gonna win this game. Because Future can't recover economically. He can't take on the army. I mean, this is one of those things where, like, I've seen this style work. Hydras and Banshees are a way to deal with this. Or, excuse me, Hydras and Vipers. But there just wasn't enough for Future. So GG's first series of the day is going to go to Team Liquid's TLO. It also means I need to go update brackets, which... Oh, I'm doing a one-man show today, so that's going to be fun. Let me go get this sorted really quick. So we know one of the 2 players moving on to the winner's match. That's going to be TLO. Unfortunately, that means Future falls to the loser's bracket, but Future. Actually, I just realized this bracket page I've been given doesn't actually work. It's got one too many matches on it. We'll have to speak about getting that edited later. There's just walk and talk here. Give me a sec, guys. Yeah, the entire losers bracket section makes no sense. I could probably just cut that out entirely. You guys might not be aware of what I'm talking about at the moment. I'll show you in a sec here. Just going to edit this really quick. All right, export. Done. Bracket page should be updated. Yes! So yeah, this entire bottom left section is totally unnecessary. I'll have to see if I can get permission to delete it. Because the winners, losers, and of course group finals is kind of like all that really matters, I guess. Actually, no, even then that still doesn't work. Because the losers bracket should be in the bottom left. And that should be the group finals where it says losers final. Okay, you know what? It doesn't really matter for today. We're just going through the opening of the round of 32. We can clean that up and make it look better later. Point is, what's the next match we got here? I've got these guys slotted for time, and we're a little behind schedule due to the way that went. Puck versus Special. Okay, so, folks, sit tight while I get this sorted. When I get back, we should be hopping into Puck versus Special. Thank you, Divinity Chris, for the 13-month resub. I'll see you guys in a few. Okay, let's hop directly into the game. Ladies and gentlemen, it's map number 1 in a brand new best of 3. Spawning here in the top left side of the map, we have the red Protoss playing for Root Gaming. It's Puck. And in the bottom right, he's going to be the blue Terran. We don't get to see this guy very often. It's Special. Now, Puck has actually done some really fun stuff. If you guys actually caught some of the show matches and pre-matches and balance test matches, we got to see a lot of Tempest play out of him. Big shout outs to OFU, by the way. Thank you for the 35 months running, dude. But yeah, Puck was immediately, like day 1 into the balance mod, like willing to try, experiment, and do different things. Unfortunately, some of his shenanigans won't work necessarily versus Special, but there's some cool highlights that Protoss have now versus Terran that they didn't really have before. What's this question? When was the TLO Future game actually played? Again, I think it was yesterday. I'd have to double check. It was either yesterday or the day before. These are fresh replays between some of the players today. I think theirs was played 2 days ago. So yeah, not yesterday, but the day before. Because I remember TLO had to leave to do some stuff. That's right. So there you go. Anyways, as far as Special is concerned, he hasn't played in a lot of our tournaments. We've seen him sign up for a lot of stuff in Korea, but then not check in or choose not to play. And I never know what his reasoning for it is. Maybe just decides he doesn't want to, seeing the other players in the bracket, or I don't know. But Ting Open North America is not going to be easy pickings for Special. He's had some, we're going to call it like no competition runs for some of the other events out there, like Copa America. Till he gets to the finals where it's against Kelsur every single time. But there's some really good people playing in the Ting Open for the North American division. And while in this group already, you know, you've got TLO and Future, who I guess I wouldn't quite measure up against Special, to be honest. No offense to those guys. We do have players like Masa, who just won WESG Canada. We got players like Neeb. I don't even dispel it out for you. It's just Neeb. Like, there are some really great players in the groups so that, you know, Special's not going to have that free ride. But I should talk about the prize money a little bit, since we have some time. Again, big shout outs to both Ting and Hover for providing the prize pool for Season 5. But top 16 players get paid. So literally half the tournament. All you have to do is get out of your group in the round of 32. Doesn't matter whether it's first or second, and you're in for some prize money. Now granted, it's like proportional. There you go. I was trying to remember the word for a moment there. It is proportional to the overall prize pool. So 16th place is only worth 1%, which I believe at $5,000 is about $50, which by the way should be totally reachable because we're going to have Matcherino codes and things like click on these giveaways, etc. Plus, hopefully people will just donate for buy shirts and other shit. Anyways, assuming we get to about $5,000 by the end of the season, yeah, $50 to play like a couple best of 3s to get out of your group. Keep in mind, though, that the round of 32, while it is best of 3s, it's the round of 16 that will be best of 5s. So the groups will be bigger and even better for the round of 16. Is Group 2 playing at the same time? No, we'll have those games play after these. So again, we're not doing the full group today for those who missed the explanation earlier. We are just doing the preliminary matches, and tomorrow we'll be featuring the winners and the losers games. So we're almost done, quote-unquote, with Group 1 for the day. After this, we'll cast the 2 best of 3s in Group 2. Hopefully that's easy enough to understand and follow. It's a different format, I'm very aware, but we had to do this to accommodate players and scheduling and all that good stuff. Kind of not how I would like to do it personally. I just want to get one group, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and get it out of the way, but this still works. Rest in peace, SCV. You went so far, but you still died at the end of the day. Tanks came out pretty quick out of Special, actually, which is good because it would stop any kind of early attack, but actually, one tank, excuse me, it was a Cyclone that came out. I was going to really highlight how powerful Cyclones are versus Protoss right now, but Special's not going down that direction, so I'll hold my tongue for now. But even then, unupgraded, the basic Cyclone, as you guys can see, very good at just kiting down Stalkers, like 8 shots to kill one, I think. It's not the fastest kill, but it's like a guaranteed kill if you can't quite break that line of sight. Horgol, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Glad you could catch this while we're live. But yeah, if you guys missed it, the other matches we have, I think, are Neve versus BioIce. Ooh, we got a badass coming in, Boxer. We got Neve versus BioIce and Masa versus Silky. And I gotta be honest, I'm really looking forward to Masa and Silky. I think that and the TLO versus Future games were the two I most favored in the round of 32. But yo, that's a $15 hauler. We don't get many of those around here. From Boxer VIT, he says, Rifkin, the spiritual successor to Day 9. This is for your future Australia trip. Rock on. Looking forward to the games tonight. Thanks for all the hard work, man. Also, it's pronounced Boxer Veet, as in Vito, which is my name. The secret is out. Ah, Veet, as in yeet. Yeet! Excuse me, I forgot I'm not 12 years old for a moment there. Thank you for the $15. And yeah, unfortunately for me, I love the Australian accent to the point where it is my kryptonite, right? Like, Australian women drive me wild. However, I hate heat more than anything else and dangerous animals, so Australia is not the place for me. Breaks my heart. But there's some curious follow-up to this, by the way. So, a great job sniping off the Observer. Puck does have blink, but the Observer going down, there's no way for him to blink up to the main base. Special is well defended, but on the off chance that that was going to happen, he does have a tank set up over here to get some shots down that direction. His defense, very solid. What's curious to me, though, is the follow-up with his Robo Bay, because it could lead to disruptors. Puck is a guy who likes his Colossus and Warp Prism Micro. I've seen him do some great stuff over 6 years of cast in StarCraft, guys, but right now, disruptors are in a very interesting spot where I think they are really powerful versus Terran. But what we classically see is like one Colossus into a couple of disruptors. But the second Robo makes me really curious about this because he hasn't started any production from the first one. Charges, of course, can be the priority for a lot of these situations, but what's that support unit? Is it even just an Immortal to deal with the tank? Wouldn't be that bad. Great blink there, by the way. Pick off the Cyclone. And it will be disruptors. Okay. I really like disruptors for a lot of different reasons. One of the key things to highlight that changed with the patch is the disruptor no longer forcibly detonates on the first thing it comes in contact with. So you can actually put it right in the heart of the Terran army and get maximum damage and kills. Whereas, or you got the front layer Marines, which wasn't bad, but not great either. I have a Day 9 story for you guys based off that donation, by the way, but we'll hold on for a second, see if we get some free time to talk about it. Puck's in a little bit of trouble. His Stalker's doing a great job with micro. I mean, that's what Puck's built for. The guy knows how to micro, but at the moment, Stalkers are just bad against them Marines. They got +1 on their side too, but there's that disruptor. If Puck gets an amazing shot with this disruptor, it could completely stop Special's attack. Dan goes down, picks off the Observer. It's going to blind Puck, which really sucks, but I think he's going in for the shot. It's a little too far out, so now it's a big cooldown. Unfortunately, he's got to fall back and wait on 15 seconds before he can fire again. Double Colossus following this up, and double Colossus are actually really not bad for this situation, but they're not going to be out in time to save the Nexus. This Nexus is absolutely going to fall, and that's a great pick-off for Special. Really tough for Puck, but he decides to build another one in the top right. Already had this one going, so transfers the probes over, and it's not the end of the world for him, but I'm really fearing how this game's shaping up. Protoss in general, you know, you'll be down a little bit in supply. You know, they're stronger units, so they shouldn't be as easy to produce. It makes sense. But this is like, I don't know, pretty far behind. Unless Puck gets like an amazing shot, which doesn't look like he's going to get, sadly. Disruptor goes down for nothing. The Colossus, of course, needs to be protected. The Marauders could possibly just stim on this, so the Stalkers eat the front line when it should be Charge Lots eating those shots. However, he blows away most of the bio. I feel like warping in Stalkers is because Puck likes to micro, but some Zealots with charge right now would be fantastic against those tanks. Colossus falls back. Special continues to push in. Up double the army supply. This doesn't look very good for Puck. GG's get called, and Special takes game number 1. Ooh. Ooh. Now, by the way, guys, I should note, there are going to be, not today because I didn't have them prepared, but for future broadcasts, some video ads on behalf of the sponsors. So I'm going to just verbally talk about them a little bit more. However, ooh, guys, this next map is going down on Stasis. I'm going to get this hosted up in just a moment, but while I host it, I should let you know, not only do we have a Mimi intro, because I just got fucking fed up. I got fed up trying to make a serious intro for Stasis for this stupid map. So I made a new emote to go with this stupid Mimi intro. Optional player, thank you for the 43 months. He says, lemons, I say. Lemons are all I need. Yet here I am in the cloud of the moon. I want to be grounded, but I'm stuck in the sea. This is How the Hindenburg fell. For shame, dance with me. I don't know what that's about. Anyways, guys, get your ace eyes ready, and I'll see you for Stasis. Stupid dumb map gets a stupid dumb intro. All right, it's game number 2 in this best of 3 spawning here in the top right. We've got the man. He's on his last life right now. It's the red Protoss player Puck. And his opponent in the top left, it's going to be the blue Terran player up 1-0. We got Special. If you guys have not seen my depiction of the mini-map for this, I don't want to go into it now. Maybe somebody could link it in chat, because I see a Twitch staff member here, and I think that if I draw a mini-map sucking its own dick, or trying to, I could get in some potential trouble with Twitch. So just know that Stasis is not a very good map, aesthetically speaking, and this is... the face ruins it for me. But that being said, all jokes aside, we have seen some pretty interesting games on it. However, we have yet to see a game that goes past 4 bases. Typically 3 even seems to be the average, because when it comes to fourths, there's no great place to take them. You're given a risky gold in the middle of the map, or you go down to the far side of the map, leaving yourself very exposed and far away from your reinforcement point. It's not a great map to defend. Not to mention there's some interesting sky distance between the maps, and for those who don't know, and by the way, I'm making jokes about the Twitch staff member, guys. H. Steimer's like the nicest fucking guy in the world. I love this dude. There are air blockers, so at a glance, the minimap looks like there's a ton of dead space on the top side of the map you can utilize, but there really isn't. These walls not only mess with the AI of air units, as many of you know from watching games with air blockers on them, but on this map in particular, there's some terrible pathing that happens around this particular corner. So airspace is not really that great in the top side of the map. In fact, I would suggest avoiding it at almost all costs. Sorry, I'm getting caught up in Twitch chat. Anyways, again, for those who are getting caught up, oh, cute little recall. Strategic recall only has an 85-second cooldown now, by the way, so it's something you can use a little more frivolously. But for those who missed it, again, this is the Ting Open, Season 5. It's the round of 32, and it's the first 2 groups we're casting today, but we're only casting the preliminary matches. So again, big shoutouts and thank you to both Ting and Hover for providing the prize pool today. But it will only be 4 best of 3s in total that we cast. Tomorrow will feature the winners and the losers matches of the group, and December 15th will be the combined finals of every group. So Europe, Wildcard, North America, just the exception of Korea. So December 15th will be another pretty big day where a lot of finals matches are going to go down. That being said, though, this Reaper's doing a great job scouting and being very annoying. I'm surprised he made 2, but the second one helps, I guess. Oh no. Just kidding. The second one is just a waste of minerals and gas. Alright. I like that he opens with the Cyclone again. The Cyclone actually reminds me a lot of the Phoenix for what the role plays in the matchup. Very mobile, very dangerous. You can't just ignore them. You can't, like, if you're complacent about a Cyclone, you can lose everything. Takagi says, why not just cast the full group? This is unfortunately something I would also very much like to do, but again, players are traveling, so they can't sit down and play 4 hours worth of games in one session. And we had to have these done before a certain time, because unfortunately, Christmas is coming, and well, you guys might not know what Christmas is. Well, the holiday season in general, but a lot of people don't like to play StarCraft during the holidays. So we really had a time schedule where we had to get most of these done before people started disappearing. Otherwise, we'd have to wait till January to even play the round of 32. So again, I know it's not ideal. I'd love to cast the full group today, but unfortunately, it is just the first 4 preliminary matches today. Oh, thank you, optional player. Yeah, if you guys didn't catch it yesterday, I was on the Pylon show, which is always a fun time. I really respect and like In Control and Artosis, so getting to talk with them is always nice. But yeah, we had a pretty not what was expected conversation. It was good though. I had a good time talking about it. I enjoy talking about stuff like that because it has everything to do with my passion for doing what I do. So it was the VOD for that was uploaded within like an hour of the show going offline. That's on Artosis's YouTube channel. I had a really good time. I also have really enjoyed reading the comments. Like, for example, there's a guy named Phil who has made it very clear that I'm the one person in esports he'd like to cause physical harm to. Good times, YouTube comments. Anyways, it's a really good discussion. It's definitely worth putting on as a podcast if you guys enjoy listening to any three of the combination of myself, In Control, or Artosis. But getting back to this game, Puck is meandering around with a lot of these Phoenix. I talked a lot about the airspace for this map, which makes me a little bit so-so about his choice to go Phoenix. However, Phoenix are really great at doing a couple of things, namely crowd control beyond anything else. You can lift up the Cyclone, drop it, it cancels the lock-on, suddenly it's not so deadly. Siege tank, not a problem. Lift it in the sky, hide away from it. Same with Marauders. Ooh, scans the Observer. We saw for a second that Puck really wanted to go in and start lifting up Marines, but in doing so would be very costly to him. There's a follow-up of this for Colossus. This feels like such an old-school way to play. You go for a lot of Phoenix, hoping to bait a lot of Marines, and then you have the Colossus just mow down the Marines. This was like a really old meta, like fucking 4 or 5 years ago. Unfortunately, I don't think it works the same way nowadays. A lot of it has to do with the functionality of the way Terran is, and doesn't have that slow ramp-up that it used to have either. Big thing you launched that Mania 3 months. Oh shit, what up? Welcome back, dude. But yeah, the Colossus will at least do well with the Marines. The problem is they won't do so well with the Marauders. That's where the Phoenix are going to play a huge role in the upcoming battle. If these 5 Phoenix can just simply crowd control 5 of the 6 Marauders, the Colossus, the Stalkers, they can actually handle what's on the ground. But if he loses the Phoenix beforehand, or he doesn't get to pick them up correctly during the fight, Puck falls apart to this attack, as small as it is. Even if he gets greedy here, or complacent. Oh no! Classic Protoss mistake, going AFK near units that can shoot up. Ah! All right, falls back to his third base. This is a safer place to chill out. Guardian Shield will be exceptional here, so I'm glad he's got a couple of sentries. Add in a force field or two, and you can certainly take on this bio count. Special started pumping out Vikings like crazy, by the way. And what's interesting is, while these are definitely meant and intended for the Colossus, it's worth noting that Phoenix do worse against Vikings nowadays than they ever have in the past. That 10 health boost they got about 2 patches ago really shifted the dynamic of who wins that fight of Phoenix versus Viking. And the Phoenixes would have loved to have been up here. Puck's going to get very distracted. That's a big unload here. Takes out the Cyclone immediately. Targets the Marines instead of the medevac. And as the Colossus get drawn back into this, oh, he's so careful not to bring the Colossus back. That's a good move there, too, because there are units to the south. The Observer sees this. If you pulled the Colossus up here, I guarantee you Special would not have hesitated to jump on that third base and snipe it off. However, now realizing that this army is exposed, he wants to go in. I like this move. It's very predatory. He's going to hop on top of this. Good force field to catch that bio. Oh, he just barely doesn't land that other force field, though. Oh, being able to lift up some of the units, though, mow them down with the Phoenix and the Colossus. That's really great for Puck, but now he's got to be careful he doesn't overextend. We're getting into unknown territory where he doesn't know Special has a huge cluster of units, like up here, just waiting to reinforce. So I like that Puck pulls back from this. Game 1 was a little shaky for Puck. Game 2 is looking a lot more solid. Scans continue to go down. Not sure where that was. A little awkward. Sorry, guys. Normally I'm better catching the scans. 3 Vikings at a time. 4 Vikings at a time. Special's going to have quite the air arm here. One of the things about this, too, is like the Vikings are going to be able to clear out the Phoenix, clear out the Colossus, and then actually land to help kill whatever's on the ground. Vikings are actually really great and all around in this situation, but pair that up with the fact that there's Marauders and a lot of Marauders, I don't know what Puck can do in this situation. If he had more area of effect damage, like a Storm or even just an Archon, I'd feel a lot more confident in his army type. But right now, like, he doesn't even have upgrades on his side. This is very troublesome, especially comes across the map with this big attack. The Phoenix are not home. There's not a lot they can really do over here either. A couple of force fields could stall this out, but it won't stop the attack. Oh, and he sees this through the high ground. Colossus goes down pretty quick. Guardian Shields unhelped. We got SCVs pulled. This looks like we're in 2016 all over again. Pulling the boys will soak up a lot of shots from a Colossus, and that's kind of their goal. But in this situation, he could just completely ignore the Colossus, plow through the gateway units. The Vikings snipe that Colossus. The shield batteries try desperately to keep them alive, but there's no chance for Puck in this game. A Disruptor can't even kill with maximum damage. No damage. Oh, it's a flawless victory. Special takes game 2 with a very clean 2-0. And we'll advance on to the winners match. So this means guys, that means it's going to be TLO versus Special tomorrow and Puck versus Future. Now, TLO and Special is a really nice treat for sure, but what's better than that is I think Puck versus Future's a rematch of some show matches we have hosted less than like 3 or 4 weeks, 3 weeks ago? I'm actually having a brain fart here and I'm trying to remember, but regardless, this losers bracket is actually going to be pretty sick. So give me a moment here while I update it so you guys can see exactly what these will look like tomorrow. Again, I know the bottom right thing is not correct, and I will try and get that fixed up. But quick peek at the bracket screen. Yeah, this is your standings for Group 1 today. However, we're not done with this. We're going to be hopping into Group 2 in just a moment. Got to go arrange some things over here. But yeah, tomorrow's going to feature TLO and Special. So TLO versus Special in the winners match and Future versus Puck in the losers match. However, snap of the fingers, Thanos style. There we go. Group 2 is ready to go. So we're going to have Neeb versus BioIce coming up next. And after that will be Silky versus Masa. So that's a PVZ followed up by a TVZ, which should be some pretty good times. I'm looking forward to it. That being said, though, guys, we are going to go duck away really quick to another break. I won't keep this one too long because I know you want to get along with the matches, and we are a little behind schedule at the moment, but that's okay. More good StarCraft coming up. So thank you guys for watching. We're not done yet. We got 2 more best of 3s. That fucking clip you guys are linking. I hate... We do StarCraft 2 for 6 years. We've had some of the sickest highlight-worthy moments happen on this channel. And our top 2 viewed clips of all time have nothing to do with StarCraft. It's a fucking magic trick at Home Story Cup and playing marbles. I just like that. Anyways, I'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you guys for watching.
You draw me in, and I can't slow down, no. Can you feel it too? There ain't no stopping now. Feet off the ground, head to the sky. Yeah, wind by my side. You in my vision, directly we collide. You pull me in, I don't resist. Time seems to fly, but the clock doesn't tick. I crash into you, we both feel the hit. We both feel the way that our chemicals mix, and I wish that I just keep my eyes shut. Maybe this time it'll be enough. So I need to talk.
All right, right, guys, back and ready to go with the next series. So we do have Neeb versus BioIce coming up next, but I do want to take a moment here. We got to do some self-advertising, and dear sponsors of the tournament, forgive me, because trust me, this will benefit us more in the long run too, because what I'm trying to get you guys to do is check out the events tab here on Twitch. So if you're unfamiliar with what I'm about to show you, here's the quick screen region. If you go to the Twitch channel, oh God, I'm not using dark mode. Ugh. You come over here to the top and you click on the events tab. This tab is going to bring you up to all the events we have coming up for the next 2 weeks. It's going to show you which games they're playing, when they're playing, what group's playing, and what time they're playing. And better yet, if you hit remind me, this will actually set a reminder notification for you on Twitch too. We've been really bad. I say we. Honestly, this is me. I've been really bad about having the events tab up to date for the last few months, but I do want to get back on board with using it because I feel like it's one of the better ways to keep track of what's going on. Because, like, when is Basetradetv streaming next? I don't know. So this is your no excuses for me, for you. Don't miss out on any of the casts. We got really great things coming up. So please check out the events tab and use that as your bookmark for when and where things are playing here on Basetradetv. That being said, I know you guys want to see some more StarCraft 2. We got Neeb versus BioIce. It's starting now on Port Alexander. I'll see you guys in game. I gotta say, I'm really glad you guys like the intros. There's not often a lot of feedback about them, and I put a lot of work and effort, and I've been licensing real music for it, so cost money is just as nice to see you guys say nice things about it. I really appreciate it, okay? All right, Rifkin, shut up. Let's get into the game. It's map 1, and it's the sponsors player. However, this dude qualifies every season, so it doesn't even matter that he's the sponsored player, because spawning here in the bottom right with a little bit of hype music, we got Ting's Neeb! F7 Super Serial, thank you for the 47 months. To the top left, it is his opponent, the Red Zerg BioIce. BioIce, for those who don't know, played in some of the few qualifiers we had for Season 5. Yes, we did have open qualifiers, but unfortunately, several of the regions ended up we had to close the qualifiers. There wasn't enough participants. But ironically enough, North America came out to play, and BioIce fought his way through the brackets to get here to play in the groups. So I'm going to be brutally honest, guys. BioIce, from my experience casting him, he's been a pretty all-in player, and it's not a strategy that will work well versus Neeb, because I've watched Neeb deal with all-ins countless times on various scales of tournaments. So if BioIce is playing different than the way I've known him to play, maybe then he's got a chance against Neeb. But I think if BioIce is going to play a little all-in, and again, I'm not trying to say he is an all-in player, there's just my experience casting him, then I don't think it'll go well for him. And I do favor Neeb in the matchup generally anyways, because Neeb's PvZ has historically been really good against everybody except Scarlet and Dark for some reason. But anyways, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. BioIce is definitely the underdog in this one, so if you're looking for somebody to root for, it's definitely going to be him. However, as I mentioned, these are WCS-style groups, and to get into the prize money, all you got to do is get out of the group. It doesn't matter whether it's first or second. So, with 4 people in each group, 50% chance to get out. It's not too bad. But the other side of this bracket is also kind of terrifying, as after this, as I said, we'll have a best of 3 of Silky versus Masa. And both of those guys are pretty terrifying. I actually, I hate to say it, I didn't think much of Silky prior to 2018. But the kid impressed the heck out of me at BTSO Season 1. He did so well against Hero. That's Root Hero, by the way. It surprised me. He still lost, obviously, but at that point, he was on my radar. Then I got to cast him through some like Sidestorm gave me show matches and at various dream hacks. And yeah, Silky's an impressive player. I think my favorites for the group, though, Neeb and Masa, pretty one-sidedly, but Silky could totally disrupt this. At any rate, Neeb comes into the base with a scout on this depth. Not really a lot to see here at the moment. I also am curious whether he'll commit the transfer. We see some Protoss players get a little greedy. Trap reminds me of that, but Trap does with like 3 adepts. He doesn't really do it with just like the 1. But if you lose your adepts too early in the game, you're very weak to expand. You're very stuck on 2 bases. It's not a style I really like to see played out. But he does have 2 adepts, and this could cause quite a bit of damage. So maybe the trade out will be worth it. Grab some links as he transfers around. Makes a Phoenix on the other side of the map too, so he'll strip the vision away from Bio-Ice. No scouting without Overlord. Be very difficult. Oh, we got Dares in chat. Hey, Dares. Dares is the admin who helped, and he's done a great job, by the way, organizing these games so that I wouldn't have to. Not because I was trying to be lazy, but because, again, I wanted to keep this spoiler-free for me. So, shout out to Dares. Thank you for being the admin that I know you could be. I'm not sure if we'll have any stasis games today. We had 1, I guess. I hope we'll get more so you guys can keep using that stupid dumb emote. Because that emote is not staying. That is definitely a temporary emote. Neeb's followed this up with a quick fleet beacon. I'm really curious about this because there are some Tempest plays you can do right now that are pretty silly. For those who don't know, a Tempest right now does one-shot a drone, and it moves as fast as a Void Ray. They were upgraded quite heavily. Carriers are also in a weird spot right now. Maybe it's a mothership. I don't know what's Neeb's plan for this, but I'm definitely excited to see what it is. Because I haven't seen a lot of innovation on the new patch, and I don't mean the Terran player, but in terms of like inventing new strategy. Every Protoss we've been casting, whether it's Showtime or Hearthstone or Mana, like they're all doing this like double Stargate into double Robo, pretty standard build. As I had said before, Puck was the guy being experimental on. Oh, Neeb is going to go straight to a Tempest. So you'll see the speed. It is super notable. It is so obvious how much quicker that Tempest is now. But the highlight, again, is that it can one-shot a drone. And it's got like 10 range on it still. So kind of just like maneuver around the queens and massacre the drones slowly but surely. Oh, Neeb gets really greedy with that. Oh, no way. That gets out of there with 1 health. Get the fuck out of here. Dude, that 1 health? That's so low. Just like Ting's phone bills every month, which you're not committed to, guys. You're not locked into plans with Ting. That's one of the great things about them. So be sure to check out bttv.ting.com to get $25 off your first bill and get some low prices. Everyone. But no, seriously, that Oracle's at 1 health. That is so sick and gross and frustrating for Bio-Ice. That really sucks. But here comes the Tempest. And as I had highlighted, very fast now. And it's 40 damage, just straight up. No bonus versus anything. It's just 40 damage versus ground. So that is just like come in and snipe off a drone territory. I want to say that Neeb's memeing a little bit with this, but actually what's kind of funny is Neeb did during season... Was it season 4? He lost one of the qualifiers because it was the King of the Hill we did. I'm sorry, I was thinking the wrong thing entirely. But he lost because he decided to do a Roddy build against Poke Bunny. Which, by the way, when does Neeb ever lose to Poke Bunny? Oh, right, in that one case, in that one tournament where he decides to go Proxy Tempest. However, it's not Proxy Tempest, and it's not even more Tempest as the follow-up. He's just gone for the 2 by the looks of it. This is forcing a Spire. Oh, that's not a good spot to be in. Ugh, Tempest is getting a little bit low on this one. 7 drones have died in total. Lots of transfuses trying to keep that Spore Crawler up, but it can't reach the Tempest, which is the beauty of this. You can just kind of hold position back in this area. You know what this is? This is a very slow Liberator, in essence. Like, the positioning, the abuse of the sky, I guess, area on this map, like, this is brilliant and frustrating at the same time, I gotta say. Have there always been water reflections in the game? I believe so, yeah. See the underbelly here of the Tempest. Now, of course, Neeb's doing a lot of micros, so he's kind of just like on AFK with the one in the top. He will likely need to recall to get out of here alive. Corruptors are on the way. The problem is, though, Neeb with these 2 Tempests, just already, the fact that he has forced out 6 Corruptors is a bit of a small win. Now, it doesn't look like he's going to recall anything, get out alive, so we'll just lose both the Tempests, and that sucks. That makes the Corruptors a little bit more worth their while. But overall, what is Bio-Ice going to do with 6 Corruptors worth of supply going forward? Not a lot. Maybe he could caustic spray a building. Oh, even 8. He's getting 2 more. Maybe eventually gets the Brood Lords, and then these end up being worthwhile. But unfortunately, these are so gas heavy. To make this many this early is really costly to him. And Neeb's kind of okay with that, because he says, well, right, about a third of your army can't shoot the ground, so I'll just go ground units. Make Archons. He's got storms on the way, Immortals, charge lots, you name it. In a very weird way, this could just force him to go to a faster hive, as he does have the infestation pit on the way. Just to try and get the value. I said corruptors, but stalkers are warping in. Again, no way to really fight back. There's no link support to this. There's no other run-bys. In essence, all BioAce is really doing right now is scouting. And lucky for him, corruptors come with base armor too, so they can do a lot of scouting. That was a bold move. There's a cannon finishing up there. There's stalkers plenty. I mean, he's just kind of wasting these corruptors, but it is a distraction, and Neeb is caught a little off guard by this. His base to the top right will have to be canceled. There's too many lings, sir. And that hive does get pushed out a little bit quicker than you would usually see. Nuclear Winter says, I think I'm going to attack to fast liberator range in the future on this map and abuse the Zerg. The thing is, though, right? Like, liberators, they've been figured out. If you do fast liberator range and try and abuse these positions, Zerg can deal with it. I think the reason it works a little bit differently for Tempests, and this is where it gets really interesting, is the Tempest can shoot up still no problem, unlike a Liberator. So if the Zerg brings an Overlord over to see said Tempest in the abusive area, you just actually kill the Overlord, right? Whereas Tempests don't really, or excuse me, Liberators don't really have that option. So I think that it's a great idea, and if you can abuse it, then I say good luck to you. But I really think that what we witnessed this game was a little bit more Protoss and a lot less map. I do like that he's kept care on these oracles too. Revelation in the main's pretty nice. Another difficult run by to stop. That next is going to have to get canceled again? Question mark? Oh god, it's so low. Even if it finishes, that thing's going to get sniped off pretty easily later, but I guess not wanting to waste time rebuilding it, he may have to, ironically, later waste time rebuilding it. This thing is going to finish with like 200 health. Well, a smidgen more than 200 health, pardon me. Banley's get caught in the middle of the map. He's chasing with zealots. Probably shouldn't do that. Basetradetv, don't you know that Liberators are an anti-air unit? You know, there was a time where the Liberators actually listed as the counter to Vikings and many other air units in the F1 help tab. A long time ago. A lot of Banleys rolling. Clutch force fields, super clutch force fields. Okay, this went from like being an okay like force field setup to the most perfect last second clutch force fields Neeb needed to stop those banelings from wiping out his army. Stalkers take the hit, that's fine. The Archons live behind this. He's trying to back attack with banelings, but there's more storms where that came from. You just walk away from this if you really wanted to. He's not. Oh, okay, that gets a little bit risky, a little bit spooky. But he's still good to go. While this goes on, by the way, he's annihilating the main base. BioAce is so beyond dead. This man, he's on borrowed time. Mothership's following this up. He wants the Brood Lords. He's not going to get him, and Neeb will take game 1 in this best of 3. Poor BioAce. A little bit rough. Who won versus Special? It was Special. We actually have the brackets page here. I can go right back to. This was the Group 1 results for those who missed out. But, oh, guys, no way. For game 2, they picked Stasis. Look, here's the thing. You can't just spam the stupid emote at the start. You gotta like wait till the end of the video, okay? And then I want to see you guys just like unleash it. So if you're subbed, prepare your AAAs, but don't actually spam them until we're close to the end of the video. I'm gonna host this up. We're gonna get into it. Enjoy the map intro for Stasis. I hate this map. I love and hate you guys so much. All right, we're getting into game number 2. This map is just the best designed map, both aesthetically and from a balanced point of view. I can't wait to see how this goes down. I'm hoping he abuses Tempest again, though. To the top left, we got the blue Protoss Neeb. Of course, playing for Team Ting. And in the upper right, it's going to be his opponent, the Red Zerg BioIce. But again, quick shout out to the sponsors of the tournament, guys. Hover, you can get a 10% off deal by going to hover.com/BTTV. And of course, we all know the deal with Ting, but in case you don't, it's a US only phone service. You can get phone bills real cheap, like cheaper than $25. You go to bttv.ting.com if you want to claim $25 in credit to put towards your first phone bill, or you could use it on the store if you want to get $25 off of buying a new phone or something like that. A lot of cool stuff you can get in on. But so thank you for gifting another sub out. Nice pylon block coming out of Neeb. Oh, that's infuriating for BioIce, because this is not a map you want to be forced into a third on. This third base, look at the distance. You're not bringing a creep or a queen down here. You're not getting the creep spread in time. Like, any attack on this third base just straight up is terrible. So cancel on the pylon from Neeb. Looks like BioIce will... What the fuck? This thing's spazzing out. Dude, it's like 580 no scope. Stop it. Calm down, sir. You're going to hurt yourself. You're spinning so fast. Woo! Okay. I'm not sure what's going on with that graphic, but that's a very hyperactive hatchery. At any rate, I said I was kind of hoping he would do some Tempest play again. Part of that is because while the airspace on this map is garbage, as I've highlighted many times before, you can still just kind of sit here and pick off a lot of drones while being out of range of everything that could possibly counter you. Pop Trunk asks, is it cheaper to go to Ting if you use around 60 gigabytes of data a month? The answer to that is probably no, but Ting actually has a savings calculator on their website. However, I should highlight Ting is best made for people who are around Wi-Fi constantly and don't rely heavily on data. So they're very open about it. I'm going to be open about it too. If you use 60 gigabytes of data a month, I can already tell you, Ting's probably not going to be for you. But for the people that it can help save a ton of money. Because again, I never fucking leave the house. If I was in America, I would use Ting, because it would be nothing. I pay like $150, $160 something a month. That's Canadian, in fairness, for my stupid ass phone. I hate this thing. You have 4 gigabytes of data. It's garbage. And I never use that because I'm always at home around Wi-Fi. So again, Ting, perfect for people who are in my situation. Wish I could get access to it. Sadly, again, US only. Clipter3 says, what the fuck? How do I unsub? I'm 3 months late on rent. Oh no! I guess you're getting homeless, but thanks for supporting StarCraft with your dying breath. Kargi, now in 7 as well. Thank you for the 9 months. He says, thanks for being awesome. Well, right back at you, friend. Thanks for supporting the channel. Neeb with a quick block, by the way. Throws down a gateway. He'll keep BioIce out of the base. 2 Adepts go across the map, and the Stargate finishes up soon. I mean, I said Tempest. Maybe it's just an Oracle straight up. Get there quick. I mean, you might as well be proxied when the base distance is this close, and it is chronoing out an Oracle. The Adepts are causing a lot of problems because BioIce has sent all of his Zerglings to the other side of the map. Oh, gosh. He will clean up the Adepts by the looks of it, but this was not easy. They still have some of the links with them. No Spore Crawlers. 2 Queens. This Oracle... this Oracle should do a lot of damage. You know, back in the day, you'd kill the Queen and pick up 5 drones with the leftover energy. In this situation, don't even go for the Queen. Just go for the drone kills. Oh my god. 6, 7, batting for 8. No, he ends up shooting the Queen instead by mistake. But he's got another Oracle coming up behind this. Defense on the other side of the field is requiring a little bit more than Neeb would like to put into it. Building another gateway. His SimCity keeps getting wrecked. He's building more depths, though. He should be fine. He hate me. Castrong, love you. Thank you for the 34 months. And the Glexor, tier 3. Glexor, why the fuck are you wasting money on a tier 3 sub? I'm not complaining. I love you, but you crazy son of a gun. Thank you very much for the 4 months of sub. One of the few people who can ace blue and ace red in the chat with me. Hit it up, Glexor. Overlord in the main base gets some good information. Oracle's coming for round 2. That worker kill count is going to go from 7 to 12, and oh, this gets so bad for BioIce. He's on 27 workers. He's lost so much mining to this. He doesn't even kill the Oracle. Oh my god. I'd be on tilt. Guys, press a big old capital T if you're tilted. Oh shit, Biowise leaves the game. Okay, well, that's that. Neeb takes the 2-0. Woo! Capital T's to pay respect. Sadly, Biowise will fall to the losers bracket, and that will be a rather swift end to the start of Group 2. However, this does lead us into the last match, the best match of the group. It's Silky versus Masa. I don't think any winners or losers combination of games is going to be better than this one. And I say that with a lot of confidence because I really just, Silky and Masa are very fun players to watch. And as I had said before, I've had quite a bit of enjoyment watching Silky this year. And we know Masa's a good player too. But I just got to update the scores really quick because that was a 2-0. I really wasn't ready for that. That went a lot quicker than I expected. All right, brackets page, brackets, mushroom. All right, there we go. Okay, so that leads us into, yeah, was there even a GG? Yes, there was a GG, guys. Don't go looking for dramas. He did type GG. But yeah, the last match of the day is going to be Masa versus Silky. We're going to go for a quick commercial break. 2 minutes of ads when we get back. This ZVT to end the night. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for joining me. We're not done yet. We got another best of 3 to go through. Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fresh best of 3. This is the preliminary match of Group D, or Group B, excuse me, but it is also the last match we'll be casting tonight. Tomorrow will consist of all of the losers and the winners matches. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by tonight. Typically, North American time zones yield really bad viewership. I would even classify 700 as good for this time zone. If we could peak at 1,000 before the night's done, I think I'd be really happy. But either way, just thank you guys for joining me. Ooh, Sammed. I can't say that name. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. We also had some love during the break coming from Tech Tao. But let's get into these introductions. Spawning here in the bottom left, he's playing for Storm Gaming. We have the Red Zerg player, Silky. And his opponent at the top right just won WESG Canada. It's the Blue Terran player, Masa. And I would like to highlight that, again, this is another replay, which is unfortunate because it's not super live, but this was played after he won WESG Canada. So he's got a bit of a high horse to be riding on right now. Silky, however, as I had mentioned, is a player who not a lot of you guys are going to know. He's not a big name. He's not a brand name. He doesn't have a legacy. But over the course of 2018, I've really enjoyed watching him. And I think he's played some great games. A lot of the series he's lost, where there's been like 0-2s and 0-3s, were actually amazing games, much closer than the score indicates. And I don't know how he'll do versus Masa. I want to believe in my heart of hearts this is a 2-1 for Masa, because I don't want to see Silky go down without a fight. But to bet against Masa would be crazy. So I'll let you guys pick and choose how you want that one to go. I have to actually message an artist about something, so just give me one sec here, guys. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm getting some design work done and kind of an urgent that needed to be answered. But yeah, Ting Open Season 5. A lot of good stuff happening for this season. I would like to really just, before we even deep dive into this game, before we talk about what's happening here, remind you guys that this week and next week, we're knee deep in Ting. I have cleared our schedule. We are casting nothing else except for the Ting Open Season 5. If I go live with anything else, it's a mistake. But all jokes and all seriousness, we have 3 Korean groups. We got European groups. I've got great guest casters lined up. We got Wardy for some of it, Snoot for some of it. It's going to be a great start to Season 5. The round of 32, unfortunately, should have already been done by now, but that's okay, because I feel like small blessing in disguise. Because it got pushed off later, we ended up getting better players than we originally had anyways. Because, of course, with the qualifiers having been borked, we had kind of a really light roster of people. I'm glad we were able to salvage the round of 32 and still make it happen, though, instead of cutting things down to be 16. But more thoughts on that later. There's some more behind-the-scenes boring stuff that I'm sure you guys are not interested in. Just know that I gotta say I really love Ting. Not just because of the sponsorship and all that. Like, just because they were so flexible about all the headache we had jumping into trying to get these matches to go out live. So, again, big thank you to Ting. Great sponsors of great people. Oh, hey, that would be me, I guess. The Raven for Masa, this is something we saw Future doing earlier, but I'm curious if Masas will be for auto turrets or not. I don't actually have a lot of love for the auto turret. I feel actually in a lot of ways it's kind of weak. But Future was able to deny some mining, grab a couple of drone kills. If Masa could emulate anything similar, more power to him. And between you and me, guys, don't tell Future. I think Masa is the better Terran, so I would be excited to see what he does if he does do something different. That being said, it is Stim, so we're not going to see some sort of mech or Banshee play out of this. And that's some good old-fashioned bio, which, by the way, Silky's actually pretty good at dealing with, or he was in the past. I know the patch has changed some things around for most players, but I don't know how much it'll affect this particular matchup between these two. Maybe we'll get to see some anabolic synthesis, although Ultralisks don't come around too often. Brood Lords are definitely the favored thing for a lot of players. But we'll mutter into those ramblings in a moment. The beauty of this Raven, even if it's just detection, you can see the creep tumors. You don't have to waste a scan on it, which is nice. If he wants to stand his ground and fight, an auto turret is one option, but I kind of like the idea of the anti-armor missile against Queens more. It'll, of course, help benefit all that splash damage, too, but not going to happen. Backs away. Poses for now. Third CC in the wall has been scouted, so Silky is fully aware that Moss is not doing some sort of weird 2-base all-in. which I guess is kind of important because when you're playing Terran, it is terrifying to get hit with an all-in that you don't see coming. Terran don't have a lot of very strong all-ins. That's why when you get away with it, it's just so much more powerful. But nice transfuse, barely keeps that queen alive, even with the nerfed transfuse being what it is. Silky had to dump an extra transfuse into it, but he still keeps the queen running. Now, if you guys don't know how that worked, again, the highlight is no longer do queens heal for 125 straight up. They heal for 75 and then 50 over time. So you do lose some healing if you're trying to burst spam it. That Raven's also getting awfully low. Silky is targeting it. Oh, Masa, keep running, keep running. Ooh, that's a big loss. Ravens, of course, are a lot of minerals and a lot of gas. Not fun to lose one like this early. It had not even had time to pay off yet. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Masa went for not just a fast 3rd CC. Back the fuck up. He went for a 4th CC? He's on 4 orbitals already? What? Okay. I'm wondering if Silky picked up on this too. Because as far as Silky's concerned, this just looks like the one that was over here floated over to the base. A 4th CC out of Masa is pretty greedy. But if he gets away with it, man, the 4 mule economy he will enjoy this early in the game is going to be amazing. So though it is bio and nothing else too strange behind it. Barracks are now done, so his protection will pick up. He's a little supply blocked right now, but more depots are coming down, so it shouldn't be like that for long. Liberator sets up over here. Hey, denies some mining, so even better. I love, too, the fact that this thing's powerful enough to punch through that thick carapace on the egg. 5 drones. Not bad. Widow Mines to follow up with the push. He's pumping up 3 at a time right now. Did he go for Drilling Claws? Not yet. That's possibly on the to-do list. Oh yeah, I forgot to enable hotkeys because you guys have been asking about this lately. If I ever forget to do this in a cast, just remind me. It's still something I'm not used to doing. Unfortunately, the drop there trades out okay with the Lings, but losing all the Marines was not how he wanted that to go. Oh, but he's going to make up for it with some Widow Mine shots. Or I thought he would. That was actually kind of weak. However, he did strip Silky of a lot of his units, so he's got to fall back. Well, he's got some Banlings, which is nice. He needs Zerglings or Queens or anything to follow them up. They'll soften up the units, but they got to get the killing blows. 4CC's not playing mech. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's like actually crazy that he went for a 4th CC that quick. And it's not even like a planetary or something. Like straight up 4 orbitals. Now he's got some Widow Mines to fall back to. Unfortunately, both those shots get a little wasted, but they'll still pick off a couple units with them. Rallying forward, though, more Marines, more Widow Mines, more power. Drilling Claws is almost done, too, so that's going to be that quick burrow, but more notably, it's going to allow him to stay burrowed, too, because, again, that was the change in the patch. The Widow Mines, with this upgrade, need detection to be removed. Dives in, focuses down some Queens. It's a bold move when there's Lings nearby. He moved commands forward, though, and starts messing this up. I'm not sure what happened. Oh, he was distracted in the top side is what happened. Oh, man, Masa messed up really bad there. He picks up in the medevacs, though, so he doesn't lose all the bio, but, oh, God. Mismanaging his micro between 2 different bases right now in the worst of ways. This medevac's going to move on to the side. It's got 3 Widow Mines to try and drop to the mineral lines. I'm sure that will probably get some kills, but it's very important to keep Silky distracted because Silky's got a pretty good reaction time. It's one of the reasons I like watching him. So if he sees that blue blip on the minimap for even just a moment, he should be aware of what's coming. But, oh, Masa. Not paying attention. 11 SCVs and a couple of fresh mules. Well, actually, I don't think they were fresh. I didn't quite check the energy, but still mules go down. Retribution comes in form of Widow Mine payloads. 9 drones go down. That's a not bad trade, but 14 SCVs is still worse at the end of the day. Of course, he has to clean this up, too. There's still a Ling being very annoying. For another kill? Not going to get it. Did Special beat Puck? Yes, Special did win 2-0 over Puck. I love the little red hats that the Widow Mines get. I think it looks quite silly, but I enjoy it. Okay, cool. So, sorry, the thing I was getting from the artist, guys, is I'm getting the Basetradetv header on Twitter done. And done professionally, because it looks like shit right now, because I did it. I kind of like the product. Well, we'll talk about this in a second. Hold on. Families roll through. Moss is in some trouble. His army's in the wrong position. There's no recall option. That CC's going down for sure. 13 SCVs on top of it. He still sits on a very healthy 64, but man, losing that base to the Hydras was not what he wanted. But the thing I was going to bring up, finish my thought there, is I really like the current rough draft that they have, but I wanted to see what you guys thought in case someone here has a better idea than me, because I'm not very artistic. I'm kind of autistic in terms of British pronunciation of the word artistic. But yeah, I'd love to get some feedback from you guys too. So they gave me permission to show the rough draft off after this game. We'll take a peek together and you guys can let me know what you think. Continue to push forward though. There's a lot of creep he's got to get through before he can comfortably take any kind of fight. Kudos to Silky for keeping all of this creep spread up along with the attacks that he's been able to pull off up to this stage of the game. A lot of this was just really Masa not being, I don't know, attentive, aware. That 4th CC really got caught off guard. Not just by the Banelings hitting the mineral lines, but the actual Hydras killing the CC. Speaking of Banelings hitting the mineral lines, oh my god, guys, Masa loses another 18 SCVs. 52 workers in total have died in the making of this game, and this feels so bad for our Terran player. Silky, of course, is killing it in the economy. Red painted all over the income graph, and that's how it should be when you've killed this many workers. Still, though, 55 workers and some mules isn't too bad. However, between mule cooldowns, Moss is not going to be mining for very much as the SCVs were pulled away. He tries to get another wall down. That's not going to happen. The CC there's just naked, too. Not making a planetary, not making another orbital. Tries to go for the attack on the other side of the field, but guess what? There's some Vipers here, so even if he pulls up to get away, there's either a Blinding Cloud waiting for him or abducts just to keep those medevacs in place. And, oh, he Blinding Cloud's the Widow Mines. I don't think that would have worked anyways. GG, ladies and gentlemen, Silky takes game number 1. Silky just killed Masa rather convincingly, I must say, to that too. I am surprised, to say the very least. That was not how I expected that to go. Anyways, let me just pull this up for 1 second before we hop in the next game, because again, I'd love to get your guys' feedback. I feel like this is missing just a little something, but I don't know what exactly. So here's the preview. I think this looks cool though. Like, I'm not complaining about this at all. I really like the glow that she gave the logo, but I feel like it feels empty on the top, right? I don't know if that's just me. Anyways, yeah, food for thought. Let me know what you guys think. I like the way, I like the where it's going. I just feel like it's still missing something. I don't know. It looks good though. For the brackets. Okay, so a lot of people who are just joining us, let me get you caught up to where we're at. So this was group 1. Future lost to TLO 2-1. Puck beat, Special beat Puck 2-0. By now we're in the second group doing the preliminary matches. Neeb won 2-0 over BioIce, and right now we're casting Silky versus Masa. And if you've just joined us, Masa is actually down 1 in this series. The Purifier emblem that Phoenix's heroic units get around them. Put that around the logo. Oh, you mean like that little circle thing? That's kind of a neat idea. The shield could be bigger? Maybe. Too much negative space? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The top feels really empty, right? I don't know. Anyways, we'll dilly-dally about that in a moment. I don't have an intro for this one, so we're just going to hop right into Kairos Junction for map number 2. Again, Silky up 1-0 is not like, oh my god, this never could happen in a million years, but it is still surprising in my honest opinion. So let's see how this plays out. Game number 2 kicks off here in the top left side of the map. He's up 1-0. It's going to be Psystorm Gaming's Red Zerg player, Silky. With, of course, his opponent to the lower right, the blue Terran player, Masa. Canadian, Korean, whatever you want to brand him as, he's very good at StarCraft 2. And what really surprised me about that game, I thought there's a lot of sloppy play. Again, this is a guy who's coming off of just having won like 8 grand from WESG Canada, beating out players like Scarlet and others there. Like, Masa is in good shape, generally speaking. But like that last game, we saw some move commands, right, when he was pushing into the Queens. Complacency with the Raven, such an expensive unit being AFK early on. I don't want to take anything away from Silky. Like, Silky played that game very well, and he deserved the victory for sure. But then, like, Masa, was it like 3 different Banelings hit over the course of time? Like, I just feel like there was some sloppy play, and I hate to be that critical of a player like Masa, but for somebody who I'm witnessing play this well in other tournaments, doesn't feel like he's doing so well in this one. However, That's a lot to say for what was just one game in the series. Maybe that's the warm-up he needed. Maybe he feels a little bit more primed and ready for game 2. Either way, he has to win this game to bring it back. Otherwise, it will be Masa who's in the elimination match, which would not be what I expected. Again, Masa and Neeb for Group 2 in North America are like the strong suit to get out of the group, right? If you had to bet money, the safe bet is typically on Masa and Neeb, but don't bet on StarCraft, guys. That's a delinquent thing to do. I know we got people tuning in and bet on these matches and stuff. Fuck you guys. But going back to Silky though, a lot of right moves, great map presence, good creep spread, continuous attacks. Like, he really did earn that game, and I don't want to cheapen it by saying, oh, he only won because Masa played so bad. It was definitely a combination of the two things. Someone in chat saying Silky's so underrated. I agree with you, Panda Zing. I think he is. He's not in a position where we're seeing him win a lot of big stuff. I'm hoping 2019 ends up being a breakout year for him, though. He's really looking in good shape. Started 2018. If I never saw him play versus Hero, even though he lost 0-2 to Hero, wouldn't have Silky on my radar. Hello Zergling says Silky beat me at the BTSL LAN, therefore he must be a good player. Yeah, I guess if you could beat someone like Hello Zergling, I mean, you can do anything. We got to get BTSL Season 3 going so that I can try and convince someone to sponsor BTSL Season 4 and do another live event. I will say that as costly as it was and how cost inefficient it was to do BTSL Season 1, I don't regret it for a second. It was a lot of fun getting to meet a lot of you guys, and I just love that we can make an excuse for people to come all the way from like Seattle and onwards to come to BC and do that tournament. I want to do more of that stuff. Ooh, Reaper almost gets picked off. Flies away though, so safety, no problem. Arjun says nice micro on the Marine. Yeah, he was dancing around those SCVs very well. I probably could have, should have, would have highlighted that a little bit more, but it just looked like an easy hold, so I kind of just let it be what it was. But you're right, like he did actually micro it back through the slot of 2 SCVs. So well done. Perhaps that's already a good sign for Masa then. Less slacking off here in game 2. Jables wants to know what province they live in. British Columbia, West Coast Canada. Although, oh my god, this stupid story. Some of you were here when this happened to me live, because this was on a friend's stream when it happened. So I ordered some pants, right? I ordered a full suit. I actually tweeted about this, right? M. Taylor. They sent me a really nice suit. It's not sponsored, anything like that. But I never got the pants for it. And it's been like 2 months, so I sent them a help email, the request email. I'm like, where's my pants at, right? And I'm having such a hard time dealing with the answer they gave me because it's true. Going off of the tracking number, I can see what happened. Somehow my package was accidentally sent to, like, Toronto, Colombia. So, like, okay, the abbreviation for where they sent it is BC, but in the wrong country. And doesn't the Postal Service use fucking postal codes? Like, I guarantee you, any postal code in Colombia doesn't look like a postal code in Canada. Like, I just don't understand how that mix-up happened. So, like, I'm not even kidding. I'm looking at USPS as I get this email to confirm that they're not just bullshitting me because they just forgot to make the pants or something. The tracking number literally has it stuck in Colombia at the border or something. Like, so they're sending me a new pair of pants now, which is great, but like so much later. Anyways, side anecdote aside, God, I'm just so angry about it. Battlecruiser comes out of Monster for this game. And the Battlecruiser is in a funny spot. I had highlighted this during Futures games, but I'll highlight it again now. It can just be your opener, which it sounds so insane to say as a Terran player because a Battlecruiser rush was a meme between myself and Nathanius and maybe TY, but nobody would really do that. Battlecruisers were not good units prior to the patch, but now they really are, and there's a lot of power to them. And I think that Masa opening with a Battlecruiser is not actually that crazy. I want to gasp and be like, oh my god, can you guys believe it? A Battlecruiser, this is so hype! I guess I just did that. But the point is, I don't need to because it is something that's looking more normalized with players like Marine Lord, Future, Masa now, like just solidifying the fact that this seems to be an acceptable opener, as expensive as it might be. Hey, get back to work. What are you doing? Yeah, ha! Okay, it didn't work. But will he just teleport it across the map? Yep, comes to the front line. Queens are like, okay, I'm out of here. See ya. Hellions have got some pretty good damage too, soaking up a lot of the transfuses already. The Battlecruiser comes in. Unfortunately, it's hard to target what you would like to shoot with the Battlecruiser. So as you guys can see, it wasted a lot of shots shooting an Overlord instead of like the Queens, for example, as it barges around here. Getting a little bit low. Masa does start falling back. Last thing he wants to do is lose that battlecruiser like we saw happen with Future's game. He loses the Viking, which kind of sucks. Cost efficiency, not there this game. Good defense out of Masa. But SCVs are pulled across the map to repair... What is this pathing they're taking? To repair the battlecruiser instead of bringing it all the way home? An interesting move. Keep in mind, for those who don't play Terran, to repair a unit, it looks like, it must be easy, but it's a percentage cost of the unit itself. So it is much more expensive to repair a battlecruiser than it is a Hellion, for example. And you can see that reflected with Moss's money that got drained out so quickly. But second battlecruiser on the way. We got Yamato Cannon paired up with this. He went for armor first. This was something you did back in like the days of Brood War. If you ever played Battlecruiser, you shouldn't do, and I'm not going to pretend like I know Brood War, but the point is, the attack seems to be the better option in almost every situation we've seen them in. So it's very interesting seeing him pump out armor. But the beauty is the armor will affect his ground units as well and benefit things like those Hellbats. He's keeping the SCVs on the front line, by the way. I know this is a battlecruiser attack, but this feels to me a lot more similar to the way players would do proxy Thors, where you would just like pull SCVs and mass repair it. But Moss is not letting up on the battlecruisers, guys. He's pretty actually dedicated to this. Yamato Cannon's done too, so that's going to be 2 easy pickoffs on the Queens. Can't transfuse that damage. Could focus both on the Spore Crawler as well if he wanted to, but I think the Queens are the easier pickoff in this situation. That's energy for 150 minerals. A lot of Hellbats still underneath this. A lot of SCVs doing those repairs. Clears out that Zergling that was blocking the third. Starts up his 4th base just out in the front lines because Masa doesn't give a flying frick, guys. Scans ahead. Yamatos. Okay, I'm not sure why he burned both his Yamatos on the same Queen. That was horrible to watch, to be honest. Like, you know when you see people type cringe incorrectly and inappropriately? No, right there you could cringe. I'm sorry, Masa, but it's true. About 3 or 4 transfuses went into that Hydralisk. Still dies. Nice. He's almost out of money. He's actually having a lot of trouble repairing right now. Again, this is highlighting how expensive it is to repair a battlecruiser. But the depots are going up. The walls here. There shouldn't be any more of these link run bys to be annoying. And he can focus a little bit more on the front lines. The thing is, like, as weird as it is to consider, these Queens are a great response to the battlecruisers at the moment. They've got the health, they've got the transfuses, they can take the hits. But as the game starts spiraling more and more, it's less about being tanky and more about being able to kill the units on the other side of the map. So Moss has got this army that is essentially going to be unkillable, but so does Silky. The difference is Moss has got more damage than Silky. So in a race of transfuses versus survivability, battlecruisers will win. However, oh god, those transfuses are on point. Silky's not missing a mark. These Queens stay alive, and these battlecruisers lost all their ground support. He's got teleports though. Let's really highlight that really quick. All of these battlecruisers should get out alive. There's zero excuse for any of these dying. Teleports instant. It doesn't take a lot of clicking, even if it's just 10 feet back. Sometimes that's all you need to walk away. But as he keeps these sky barges alive, he's pairing them up now with Cyclones, advancing on towards tanks. Blue Flame Hellions will help a ton with the Hydras, of course. But the Spore Crawlers and the Queens are the greatest defense Silky's got going right now. Masa also being a little bit, I'm going to say bad with his Yamatos, at least so far. Maybe he misunderstood the way the Queen, or the Yamato nerf works. I don't know. Either way, he's doing a little bit better with it now, so I'm just going to assume that first one was a misclick. Battlecruisers tear through a Queen, but that's not the cue to go. It is really not. Cost efficiency, though, favors Masa through a lot of these trades. As awkward as it is, as long as he picks off a single Hydra and walks away, it's better for him. Silky is going to have some trouble with the tanks now, too. These can help push the Spore Crawlers back, which, again, part of the asset that keeps these battlecruisers at bay. Oh, Cyclones actually get lock-ons, too. That's not too bad. Yamatos are primed and ready. I'm really curious on his priority for these Yamatos. I think taking out these Spore Crawlers would be a lot easier to do quickly, but he just kind of brute forces it down. All right, now moves towards the hatchery. Top right's got another expansion going down, though, so even if he loses this hatchery, it's not the end of the world. Blue Flame's done. That's going to help these Hydras cook up or get cooked alive by these Hellions quite well. Ooh. Battlecruiser's still going strong. I wish he made a 4th one. Oh, wait. But they're going to knock down the hatchery. The move and shoot's cool, but I really gotta stress that it's that 20% damage that comes from that no random attack delay that makes these so good. I like the abducts on the tanks, by the way. If he abducts a battlecruiser, it can just teleport out of there. He knows that too, so grabbing units that can't just escape, there you go. That's the smarter move. Still trades out pretty well, though. The tanks, you know, they get killed, but they also shoot before dying. Oh, the clutch timings on these battlecruisers too. I mean, Silky's diving in, and it's costing him so much, and he's not killing the battlecruisers. The 4 BCs escape. Granted, they're almost dead, but they actually get out of there alive. Look at the resources lost now piling up for Silky. It's getting a little bit more rough to justify these costs. But Masa's got to repair these up. He's got to repair these up like right freaking now. He doesn't have a lot of time, but Silky's not pushing with this either, so he can't capitalize on the almost dead battlecruisers, and that's really bad for him because it means the next time they fight, those battlecruisers will be at full strength once again. Level 3 armor is coming out too for these battlecruisers. It's a fairly weak, I guess, like without having the weapon upgrades, the battlecruisers aren't hitting that crazy hard, but at the same time, Silky, his units are also frail that even if the battlecruisers are only doing a little bit of damage, they're still doing enough to kill. Masa, by the way, is being pointed out by chat, has a lot of workers. This is a very TY-esque style of play, but let me explain why this works for Terran in this situation. You're playing with such expensive units like battlecruisers and tanks, you don't need to get an army that's 150 in size. You only need like 100 supply worth of army. So those SCVs that are normally frivolous and useless, well, 10 of them are going to be on the front line doing repairs. Another 5 building turrets, right? That 93 worker count looks a little silly, but if you consider what's actually mining, it's probably a little bit closer to 80, which is a more realistic number for Terran. So I just view those extra handful of SCVs as additional army units because, frankly, their triage on the front line, their ability to build these missile turrets, they are basically army units in this situation. Battlecruisers and Blue Flame, guys. B and B. You can teleport home in a pinch. There's not really anything here to defend. It's like a single siege tank. It doesn't even kill a single Hydralisk. Yikes. That being said, Moss could also possibly just force a base trade out of this. Like, straight up, just trade it out, man. Because you can always fall back and turtle to a base with those battlecruisers. Silky, however, has to choose to walk home. And if he walks home, he gives up the trade. So he's going to try and meet him head on here in the natural. Infestors are out. And there's a couple of cool things about Infestors you guys might not be aware of. And one of them to really highlight is their fungal growth. You cannot teleport if you're caught in a fungal growth. Okay, very ambitious here. Unfortunately, the attack damage that you put on the battlecruisers won't be that great. Parasitic Bomb does a lot of damage to smaller units because they have smaller health pools. In this case, a full duration Parasitic Bomb barely does like a third of the battlecruiser's health. That was coupled with 2 fungal growths too. It's a great idea in concept at a Silky, but in practice just does not work here versus Masa. At the end of the day, Hydras I don't believe are the correct answer. And Corruptors would have been better in most situations because they still beat out battlecruisers, but unfortunately, with the way this game's gone, Neural Parasite might have been his best bet with the composition that he has at the moment. Not being able to pull that off, though, not looking good for Silky, guys. I know he's doing some good trading. He's got a lot of units still in the field. It doesn't look like it's all that over, but I want to draw your attention to the resources lost and consider the cost efficiency of the way Moss has played and is still playing, right? Like, these units can't even get in here. If they do, the tanks, the Hydra, they're all going to die here. Everything is just going to die on the ground. The battlecruisers will come out alive in the sky. There we go. He's teleport if things get too desperate, but he doesn't need to. Oh, well, not if he's fungal, though. That's the terrifying thing about a fungal growth, but he didn't need it. That's the whole army for Silky. Tanks, Hellbats, they clean house, and Masa with the battlecruiser build takes game 2. And he ties up the series 1-1. Oof. 1 BC died, course of that game. Maybe 2. Either way, crazy, crazy. Pig! Pig just came raiding with a party of 430 far. Pig, I'm never live at this hour to even get a host, much less a raid, so just thank you. And hello, everybody from Pig Stream. Notorious PIGs. I don't know, I'll get Piggle Ricks in the chat. If you're joining us, let me catch you up really quick. We're doing BTSL North America. Thank you very much for that resub, Pig, 31 months. We did Group 1 already. So TLO and Special won their matches to move on to the winners matches, and Future and Puck unfortunately fell down to the losers bracket. But we're in Group 2 at the moment. We've seen Neeb take a 2-0 over Bio Ice, but you guys are tuned in just in time for Silky and Masa to be going to game 3. Things are tied up 1-1, and we just had a battlecruiser game. A really sick battlecruiser game if you're Terran, a really awful battlecruiser game if you're Zerg. Roger SC, thank you for the 30 months. Sorry I was on the other scene so we don't get the hype, but I appreciate the sub nonetheless. At any rate, folks, the downside of this raid is it does come as we're going to commercial break. It's been 40 minutes since our last break. You're going to get to see a really memey, stupid break screen because I broke the break screen. But if you stick around for after the break, I've got the sickest map intro to show off to you guys. So it's brand new. I hope you like it. See you guys in a couple of minutes. Thanks for joining us, and thanks again for the raid. All right, guys, hope you like that intro. It's our first day using it. I just finished it earlier today, but we're getting into map number 3. Things are tied up 1-1. And this is incredible because I thought he was, I said 2-1 in the favor of Masa. We'll see if that's correct, but with 1 point, he won the first game in this best of 3. Fighting now back against the guy who just tied it up. To the top right, we do have the Red Zerg player, Psystorm Gaming Silky. And in the bottom left is, of course, the WSG Canada Champion 2018. We got the blue Terran player, Masa. Now, things, of course, are heating up. We're getting to the end of the groups today, but I would like to highlight, if you guys have just joined us off a Pig stream and you're interested in seeing more of these players or the players I had mentioned prior to getting into the game, tomorrow we'll be casting all of the losers games and all of the winners matches. So you'll see 4 more best of 3s tomorrow. At the same time, I hope to see some of you guys there. But again, a big thank you to Pig for that host. And of course, if anyone on my channel, for whatever reason, isn't already following Pig, he's the master of this time zone. He gets the best viewership. He's also just all around a great guy. So be sure to check out Pig's channel sometime too. It's just x5_pig. But I would be remiss if I didn't end today's last cast of the last game with a proper sponsor shout out. So once more, if you guys are tuning in from the United States, and you're around Wi-Fi all the time, you're looking to save some money on your phone bill. Hell, if you're paying more than $25 a month for your phone bill, listen up. Ting can help you out. They've got a savings calculator on their website. And heck, if you go to our promo code for Ting, they'll give you $25 in credit, meaning you could just try them out for essentially free for 1 month. Again, you're not locked into a contract. You don't have to sign up for some bullshit year-long thing. You can just try them, and if you don't like them, then you're done. Go back to whatever you're doing before. bttv.ting.com. And of course, the new co-sponsor of the Ting Open Season 5 is the sister company of Ting, Hover. You guys are interested in building websites, and of course, you're not from the United States. You can't benefit Ting, but you still want to support the tournament and get a good deal. Check out Hover, hover.com/bttv, 10% off. But now that the selling out is done, we can highlight the fact that Silky actually got over here with a lot of lings, enough to force Masa to pull several workers to deal with this. However, keep in mind, this is all too similar to the way this went last game. Masa dancing through his SCVs with that Marine magnificently. Not enough to kill all the Zerglings, but enough to buy time for the Reaper to come home. And, I mean, this pulled a lot of workers. This was really costly for Masa to do. But, man, he does get that command center up without too much delay. As I highlighted before, the problem for a lot of the Terrans in these sort of scenarios is not about like, oh my god, my mules are late. It's like, oh my god, I'm supply blocked. It goes so badly. However, in the previous game that we were watching, Masa didn't just go for a fast 3rd CC. Masa went for like a fast 4th CC. Now that was greedy beyond greed, and I don't think we'll see him pull that off again here on Automaton. But I would like to see a little bit more game 2 out of Masa. I think the Battlecruiser opener was fantastic. I like that he pulled SCVs to repair it instead of having to bring it back home. This allowed him to keep timing and pressure up on the front lines. The thing is, though, at the end of the day, I don't know. I just... I want to be like Battlecruisers are just cool, won him the game, but I think Masa played a lot better. We saw a lot of micro mistakes and a lot of like complacency in game 1. Not seeing this repeated in game 2 was definitely better. Maybe it really was just the warm-up game, you know? Either way, Automaton's got some very interesting attack paths for this 3rd, and that gold, which is kind of rocks, you can tear down and mine from the backside if you really want to. We actually saw, I think it was Nurchio? Maybe it was Bly, I can't remember. We watched the ZVZ recently where the Zerg player just took a hatchery here, took a hatchery here, and just mined from this side of the mineral patches. And I mean, it works. So he's Overlord heading up to the main base, looking for some good scouting. He'll see the Banshee, and we'll see if that cloak gets canceled or not. Brondo, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. 3 months, coming back. A little bit of party music, too, to celebrate it. But yeah, the cloak could get canceled. Ooh, I'm not sure if he'll dedicate to this or not. It took so long to kill the Overlord. Fakes out the factory being off the reactor. Okay, so that was a little clever. I'm curious on this now. What's your plan, Masa? You gonna pump out Hellions? Because, like, you would expect when the Overlord does the scout, the mind game is you cancel the stealth attack and you just follow through with whatever else. What he did was he faked the factory moving off the reactor, hoping that Silky doesn't realize there's more Hellions coming, I guess? Oh, it's an armory. Okay, so he's gonna go for Hellbats. I was really curious, like really beyond confused what his mind game attempt there was. Or maybe it was just indecision. Either way, Masa gets over here and pick off some of the drones, which really isn't too bad. I mean, this Banshee, whatever she can grab for kills and damage, makes it worth her while. Chipping away at the Queens a little bit here. Detection is through the Spore Crawlers, so she can't go too close. Plus her energy is about out, so yeah, just unstealths and backs away. But more Hellions were made, and they were kind of kept in the main base. I guess now he's happy to unleash them forward. There's going to be 2 Banshees, a good number of Hellions, which will soon be Hellbats. I'm just sitting here watching this in a little bit in awe. Like, he's just running away, taking free damage. Now he's got the Lings out to actually help fight, but the Hellbats take care of them so quickly. The Banshee walks away. She's almost dead. No second round for her. The Queens are using all their energy up to keep this going. Looks like Silky holds this. Moss's attack flops out at the end of the day. This did give him time, though. Get a 3rd CC, but with so much of his army having been given away, I don't know if he's going to be able to protect this. He is also continuing to go into Banshees. He's got Hyperflight Rotors coming up. He's looking for Cyclones too. I think, yeah, Hellions and Blue Flame's a better priority. Banshees will get the job done that the Cyclone would otherwise do in this situation. Also, by the way, I just want to highlight too, I know this was mostly in part due to Pig's awesome raid, but I had said at the start of the stream, if we could peak at 1,000 viewers tonight, I would be very happy. The fact that we got about 1,100, almost 1,200 going into the finals today is fucking awesome. Thank you guys again for joining us. We rarely ever broadcast in this time zone, so it's always nice seeing some StarCraft fans come out and enjoy some North American StarCraft 2. I guess Ting's also a fairly large tournament, not like top tier, but $4,000 to $5,000 for prizing each season is really not too bad. Get some good games from some good players who are hungry for some cash. These 3 Banshees, of course, don't have Hyperflight Rotors done yet, so they gotta be a little bit careful if they dive in for the Queens, but hey, they grab a kill and get out alive. Is that what North American sounds like? Well, no. Be British, obviously. North American could be anywhere from like a Canadian to like super droll and South American, I guess, or Southern American. South American would be a different thing altogether. Howdy, y'all. Hope y'all are liking some StarCraft here. Clam's in bed, so we gotta keep it down a little bit. Shucks. Oh, you know what? Actually, this is a Canada moment. I don't know if you guys heard about this. I can't believe it. What's that song? Like, it's starting to look a lot like Christmas or whatever. We just had some Christmas carol got banned on the radio. I can't remember what song it was. It was such an innocently not stupid song. I can't remember the name of it right now off the top of my head. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Zoe Deschanel did like a cover of it with Joseph Gordon-Levitt or whatever his name is. Baby, It's Cold Outside. Yeah, that's the one. Dude, how did that get banned off the radio? I can't even believe this world we live in. Like, there's just... I hate 2018 so much. We've lost some good people, and we've lost some good songs. Just some dumb bullshit. Okay, so Corruptor's coming to deal with the Banshees. That's kind of a clever move. But the Banshees take out like 5 Ravagers before the fight even begins. The tank siege up so late. Kind of bad on Moss's part, but the Banshees did their job. They're going to die, but they took out all the Ravagers, all the heavy-hitting part of this army before the fight even began. He'll hold with losing a couple of SCVs, but he's mining off of a gold base, so losing SCVs, aka just mineral-based units, is totally fine in this situation. Let's not forget, Magfield Accelerator might not be here for the Cyclones, but their base damage still kills Corruptors. So while he's thinking he can just sit here and Caustic Spray, it's a little awkward. Well, actually, he'll kill the command center. What? Just lift the command center. What are you doing, Masa? What? You could just lift the command center or move it to cancel the Caustic Spray, and then like when they start auto-attack, you just land it. I'm so confused. That was bad. That was like unnecessarily bad. It doesn't cancel it. Degenerate Love, it does if you move out of range of it though. So the thing is, like, he really didn't need to just sit there and take the damage. That's why I'm astonished that it died. That being said, I'm actually really worried for Masa. This attack looks pretty nice. More Ravagers behind it, but he doesn't sneak up on the tanks. He doesn't land Corrosive Biles on anything he needs to hit with this one. However, he's killing a lot of these Hellbats. He might just be at the point where he brute forces the tank. It's still bold to do. Ravagers and Roaches die for this. Cyclones with their auto attack are helping deal with the Corruptors. Start pushing those back. Lock-on makes it even easier. Magfield Accelerator still not done yet, but will be in about halfway done. Taking out the Corruptors is not that big of a deal. They are certainly being more of an annoyance than anything else right now. Because, of course, he's not got Banshees, so I guess he'll have like 1 or 2. The Corruptors are not that big of a threat, is my point. Silky, though, I gotta say, still sitting on 83 drones. He's moving out to take his extra bases. He's not had to deal with a lot of harass because his Spore Crawlers have been holding. So, I mean, ultimately, his income's been pretty good. His army's not been trading up so well. I do fear that Roaches and Ravagers are going to keep getting worse as time goes on, obviously, but for what it is right now, Silky's played well up to this point, especially trading up for what the game has looked like. But, oh, this is like a big sacrifice of Roach and Ravager for a command center. Like, cancel the command center. Okay, it's cool, but losing a lot of units for this, too. Hellions get a nice run by, though. This was something Masa needed to get back into the game. 9, 11... Never forget the amount of workers that died here in this game. 16 in total now. Of course, that's paired up with a couple of the kills from earlier on in the game, but pulling back does what it does, and it gets workers and brings the army home, giving Masa a little bit of breathing room on his side of the field. I'm still not done. I can't even believe this. This went from like a mediocre amount of workers killed to a pretty significant, like 30 workers just died. 32 to be precise. Lucky for Silky, he had so many to lose. Like, he had got 90 drones for this to like be manageable in this situation. I guess, oh, this is a little awkward. Oh, the rocks are up. So the drones are trying to mine from the wrong side, but they're blocked out, so they're just kind of derped out. He's rallied drones here in the wrong way. Oh, that's so awful. That's the AI. That's not even on Silky. That's the AI on this one. Alright, well, Hellion's going to get a couple of kills on the Creep Tumors. Obviously, he's looking for run-bys. Hellbats can kill a hatchery if he's not careful, so he has to respond to this with Corruptors. Oh, no. Unfortunately, that unit has no power here. Banshees continue to stutter step and get some good damage done. Picking off the Queen. Nicely done. Hellions, the Cyclones. Cavalry bringing up the rear. The army supply is looking really good for Masa, doubling the army supply of Silky. And let's not forget, like, some of Silky's army supply is in Broodlords, so they will be good soon, but he can't use them yet. The problem, so he's going to continue to bleed out. Where's the Eddie key? Which key's the Eddie key? Thank you for the 3-month resub, dude. Cyclones, though, with Magfield Accelerator can kill Broodlords. However, with only 120 health, as you just witnessed, they get massacred pretty good. Oh, this is scary for Masa. All his momentum's about to be lost. He can't shoot up. He can't shoot up. Oh, no. He's making Banshees and shit. He doesn't have any Vikings coming out. Cyclones are his relying force for this. I guess he's bringing more Hellions to kill more drones, which is nice. And Silky just made a shit ton more drones. But, oh, that's embarrassing. Just like you've got this game-winning momentum, and then you just stopped. Can't shoot up. 4 Cyclones at a time. So again, that's 800 damage over like 14 seconds. They can kill this Broodlord 4 times over. It's going to be good anti-air, but it won't be reliable anti-air because, again, the Broodlings and the Broodlords will kill the Cyclones. They only have 120 health. Even with 4 armor, they're going to go down pretty quick. Well, actually, hold on. Maybe not. Yeah. These Cyclones... Okay, well, I mean, when you're fully stranded like that, you're still going to die. But I just realized... There's enough armor on the Cyclones and no upgrades on the Broodlings at all. The Broodlings actually hit for 1 damage. But the problem still is, like, you gotta get those lock-ons, right? Here we go. It melts. It does good damage, but it doesn't do it fast enough. And there's a 4-second cooldown between each lock-on. So basically, between lock-on cooldowns, these Cyclones are gonna die. However, with Hellbats helping cover this isn't that bad. It's still not what I would call, like, the desired anti-air to have in this situation, but it's working. But it hasn't stopped the attack. On the left side of this, Roaches and Ravagers still kill SCVs. The Mineral Lines got massacred. Silky, on the other hand, well, he took a lot of damage earlier. He's not taking much now. He's on 70 drones to Moss's 36 SCVs. I don't know how this game shakes up from this point. Both players have taken incredible losses. The resources lost are also very similar. I mean, these guys have traded. I love it. Game 1 was so clearly one-sided. Game 2 was so clearly one-sided, right? Game 3 has actually been pretty balanced between these two. I wish this was a best of 5, goddammit. But more Broodlords are coming out, and no sign of Vikings. Cyclones work. We just witnessed. They work in a pinch, but I don't know. I'm not convinced that they're the go-to, you know? Well, Tank's getting some okay shots over here. It's really critical that Masa has the armor that he does, I suppose. If this was like no armor, everything here would have been dead like 10 times over. Oh. Well, he's looking for some drone kills, so find some Broodlords instead. He could just run past these, though, and go up to the main base. I mean, hell, he could just go transform into Hellbat mode, too, and just, like, kill buildings straight up. Gets caught by the roaches, though, and this is a significant amount of money for Masa. Keep in mind, with how much he's just lost recently, he doesn't have the minerals to throw away like this so casually. But this went from being, like, 8 drones killed to, like, 21, so it makes it a lot more justifiable. 88 drones have died in the duration of this game. This has been all over the place, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Income graphs have been jumping up and down too. We got Broodlords coming in again. The mineral lines are mining out, funny enough, so this will actually let the Broodlings slip through. Tank's not helping either. Friendly fire is killing a lot of these SCVs. Oh, Cyclones get the lock on, but it's broken by line of sight. Widow Mines help cover that damage, though. Tanks are going to go down. Lift! Masa, why do you do this? There's no reason to lose these orbitals. Lift! There you go. Like 2 corruptors, they don't do any damage. Okay, there's an attack to the south too, but it's a planetary. He's not repairing the planetary though! Oh my god, is Silky gonna beat Masa? We're getting to that point. There's more drones lying on the other side of the field. These Hellion run-bys have been fantastic. The 102 drones. He's broken the 3-digit marker. Oh my gosh. I think Silky might just win this game. Like, he's building starports desperately now. He's building Widow Mines kind of desperately now. What just breaks my heart, though, is I really feel had he just built Vikings earlier on, he could have done this. He could have killed the Broodlords with so much, like, an easier time. I mean, the trade-off is if you go for Vikings, then you got less that can deal with the roaches. And I understand why Masa did what he did. I just don't, like, obviously it's a hindsight thing, retrospect. It just didn't work. You can't do this. You can't break it. Oh my god, Silky is going to knock him into the losers match. Not what I expected at all. GG! GG 2-1, Silky takes it. And this changes up the dynamic of the group in such a big, tremendous way, right? So, like, I really think Silky could possibly beat Neeb. I'm not going to say for sure, but this puts Silky for sure, at least, if not in winner's position, then he's out of the group in second place, maybe. On the other side, BioIce versus Masa, like, okay, so let's run the hypothetical through this, right? Like, here, this is not up to date, but let's run the hypothetical through this, right? If Neeb beats Silky in the finals, Neeb goes through the group, and Silky falls down to the, like, runner-up spot, right? Where he fights against what is likely Masa again. And if he just beat Masa today, suddenly Silky is actually a contender to be the second player out of this group. Now, I know this isn't up to date. I got to update the scoreboard. I'm doing it literally as we're speaking, but this is incredible, guys. This is, I wouldn't say an upset in terms of today's matches, but an upset in terms of what the potential group ends up looking like a little bit later down the line. So again, it's going to be Silky versus Neeb tomorrow in the winners match, and BioIce versus Masa in the losers, which I'm just having a hard time really processing right now, guys. All right, export. Let's get that updated really quick. Here we go. There's the updated bracket. Wow, what a day. Did not expect these games to go the way they did. Again, here's Group 1 for those that missed it. Future losing to TLO 2-1. Puck losing to Special 0-2. And then, of course, these games here. But, again, we did the preliminary matches today so that we would very specifically have the winners and the losers matches tomorrow. So this was a short stream. I think, cool. I got 100 bits this stream. Good stream, guys. I just didn't even realize what that was at, but hopefully at the very least you guys consider following the channel, that way you don't miss out on the action for what comes up tomorrow. Following is free, as you guys clearly don't like spending money, and that's fine. Not trying to guilt you into it, but I do want to quickly highlight that if you are, how am I have Twitch Prime and ad block on my own channel. How am I getting an ad on my own channel? What the? I'm so fucking confused right now. Look. Anyways, the reason I was coming to this page was not to talk about this ad. It's to go to the events tab so that if you guys are new to the channel and maybe you don't want to even hit that follow button, you can at least see what's coming up. So tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific, aka 8 p.m. Eastern, you can see we'll be back with North America Game Day 2. This will be the winners and the losers matches. After that, we have the actual full Korean groups. So I want to highlight that all of the groups that are playing for Korea are like the full Korean groups. We're not splitting up the days like we are with North America. And those groups, by the way, oh, so sick. December 8th, we got Sue versus Solar and TY versus Gumiho. Then, between the 11th and the 12th, I have Snoot co-casting with me, so it won't be a solo cast. And we got Bunny versus True and Euthermal versus Zest. Euthermal is currently in Korea. That's why he's playing in the Korean group. Same with Zanster, because it'll be Tasia versus Zanster and Creator versus Cure. I like these groups, to be honest. They had qualified players, they had invited players, and we had some last-minute players. But the point is, these are really good groups we got coming up. So I really hope you guys don't miss out on them. But if you're North American people in the North American time zone, I will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, because that's when we'll be back with a little bit more North American StarCraft 2. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Again, it's always a little bit weird because we do this. We don't do this at this time zone very often. And I will say, in my opinion, very successful for viewership tonight. So thank you guys for joining me, and especially the people who came over from Pig's Raid. But let's pay that forward just a little bit. So I am going to end the stream with some commercials. If you guys could stick around and watch, I'd really appreciate that. But there is some other good content going on right now. And the reason we had to do today through replays was because ES Champ is currently having these guys live. Whoa. Rogue, thank you for the Roger SC. Thank you for the 500 bits, dude. But these guys are playing live for Kings of the North. That's why, again, Future and Puck and others had to play replays for today, because they're playing live in this tournament that's live right now. It's got 64 viewers. Let's see if we can bump that up a little bit. So again, I'm going to run some commercials here really quick, then we'll host these guys up real good, and you guys can end your night with some good StarCraft 2 with more amazing players that you just got to watch here on Basetradetv. So that's twitch.tv/ESChamp if you want to check that out. This is a weird tournament, by the way, where like players have lives and like 6 lives each or something. I don't quite know the full details. I'm sure you'll learn about it as you watch the show. But anyways, I'm going to send you off over that way after we play the commercials. So again, thank you everybody for watching today. But I must tell you one last time to check out the actual sponsors of this tournament. We have a Match Arena page set up. You can type !Match Arena in the chat to check out the prize pool. Honestly, there's nothing really there that's that great right now, but there will be as we go through the season. Other than that, bttv.ting.com for checking out Ting. It's a US phone service. Save some cash. It's great. Hover's a brand new co-sponsor. They're putting up some of the money for the prize pool. They're more around websites and web hosting, so if you want to check them out, go to hover.com/bttv. You get 10% off any purchases you make with them, which would be great. But I'm Rifkin. Thank you guys for watching. I would highly recommend checking out the prize pool. Oh, excuse me, not the prize pool. What was I saying? The Pylon show. I was on it yesterday with Artosis and In Control. It was fun. I think we had some pretty good topics. I hope you guys enjoy stuff like that. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter, Riff_Kings. Check out Basetradetv. And thank you guys again for watching. So again, I'm going to end the stream with some commercials, and then we will go host up ES Champ. So be polite, send him some love. See you guys later.